All right, we live.
All right, Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon, aka America. First and foremost, honor and glory to Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kapadah.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And sincere Shalom, all the Akim, laboring in truth and sincerity, sound doctrine. Again, we enter to another installment, weekly installment, daily installment of prophesying against this wicked country, you know, and the downfall of this current rulership and the ushering in of a new regime, you know, a new ruling system. Okay? Kind of let the people know, according to the Bible, that you are one of those respective tribes that's on the, the 12 tribe side that so many want to, refute. But hey, that is what it is, man. It only adds, a boost of insurance to our faith, because we know that we're doing the right thing. Somebody can add. Unless you come.
This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Heavenly Father without effect?
Hey, should the unbelief of these people make our faith without effect? Hey, God forbid, man. And because our faith is going to continue to grow stronger. Why? Because we see prophecies unfolding. Okay, we see certain attributes that our people carry that lets us know that we are those oppressed people. It lets us know that we're in modern day Rome, Babylon, all over again. Those securities just came by, to do whatever they doing, but hey, we got a job to do as well. Okay? Our faith is not going to waver because you people, you masters of people who have zero knowledge of who you are and who your true power is, man.
One more verse.
It says, the Most High forbid, yet let the Most High be true, but every man a liar.
Hey, let the word of the Most High be true, but every man a liar. A man will lead you to believe that, hey, you're an African American, or you're just an average U.S. citizen. You're an employee, man. Hey, but the scripture's telling you you're something greater. But we know that 2/3 of our own people won't reject that.
Matthew 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Hey, and that's what we're looking forward to, man. A time like no other. You got people here that the only type of, battle or, insurrection that they see in their neighborhoods is like regular drug wars or, regular shit that Jake do within the neighborhood. But you never seen troops on the ground, on the soils of America. Some of us was around during the time of the Civil War, when there was actual war on the soils of America. Hey, but even that time is not going to be like what was to come here, man. We're in a time where even the local police systems are militarized, man. We seen a glimpse of that during the Freddie Gray fiasco, man. They pumped it up a little bit more than what it was about, but you seen the militarization of local police departments, man.
Ordered the National Guard.
That's right. They had to, they ordered the National Guard in to keep the curfew going, man.
Second Ezra 16, verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
That's right. Hey, to those who fear the Lord are going to be saved up out of it, man. And there's no way that you can tell me that this oppressed people, this guy right here couldn't possibly be an Israelite, man. People want to write off the fact that the Latinos and Native Americans are our brothers, man, when they are. And the only thing that we got to go to, some of this, is the poison that Esau gave us. We abuse liquor, we abuse drugs, we even abuse Western society, man. We abuse everything that it has to offer. So if you can just see the looks on our people's faces as they, wander by, aimlessly wandering around throughout their day.
You gotta look at the feet.
Yeah, they look at the feet.
The black woman, the so-called black woman looks tired.
Right.
She looks worn out.
Right.
That's how people, man, when they on drugs, like you said.
Right. What does the scripture say? It shall wear out the saints, man.
Yep.
We are those people that the great people the Bible speaks of, man. Hey, but 2/3 of our own people won't get it until they come back as children in the kingdom. You know, we want to go in as grown men. You know, that governing body.
There was one more verse. Second Ezra 16 and 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Hey, haven't we seen the type of madmen our oppressors can be? You know, we've seen the level Esau can take it. Hey, but have they seen the level that our power want to take it? You know, he's going to have to put a spirit on us. What the scriptures say, y'all, we're going to dash their little ones against the stone, man. You understand what kind of spirit it's going to take to be able to pull that off? You know, we ain't going to spare none in our rulership. Okay, we're going to do it without the, you know, chopping rods off and put them in jars of formaldehyde. You know, the different, you know, buck breaker. You're not going to go that route, man.
Adultery.
Did you say that?
Adulteries.
Yeah, come on, man. You know, popping another man's wife to show your power over them. You know, but they shall be as madmen sparing none, man. Hey, they're going to turn it up another level on Jake out here, man. You know, they showing us a glimpse of it in these movies. You know, AI intelligence, nanotechnology, man. Hey, Esau got some shit to do, but they think they're gonna come to battle with a little punk ass 9mm. Excuse my language. You know, your little pistols is nothing compared to what Esau has, man.
Laser weapons, drones, you know,
Right.
all types of surveillance
Yep.
equipment. You know, and which these people finance themselves. Like, 'cause you go out to the counties and stuff like that. A lot of Jake, well, affluent Jake, they put those cameras on their house. So Esau just taps into it during the hour of martial law, man.
Yep.
You know, so they can see, they can surveil you, man. Your whole neighborhood.
And I believe, you know, hey, these smart TVs, these electronic devices we have, that's surveillance as well, man.
That's what they said. That's what they said. The FBI wanted the new technology in these TVs. They can look right in on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, these tyrants that they pump up as being so terrible. Adolf Hitler, you know, Stalin, they would have loved to have a society like this. And these people finance their own tyranny, man.
Hey,
You know, and they love it so.
And that's something they've been searching for throughout their rulerships, man. They want total omnipotence,
Yeah, total control.
total control, man.
Yep. And these people buy into it. They set up these corporations. They set up Google, these tech companies. Now these tech companies are larger than the government, man.
Right.
They moving so fast with their technology that the government can't legislate quick enough. You know?
And they saw, if any brother see that movie, what was it called, with Tom Hanks, Circle? You know, that was showing how they can get their technology within your household, man, and check out every aspect of your life.
Yeah, how many times you flush the toilet?
Yeah.
You know, how many times you cook in a day?
Yep. How many times you pop in your wife? Hey, they looking at all that, man.
Yeah. Yep. And then they sell it to companies that buy it, man.
Oh yeah.
So that these companies can target you target your well, they put you in segmentation, they segmentate you.
Right.
And they put you in a category and they figure out how to market you. What
Yep.
makes you tick, what makes you want to buy this, what makes you want to buy that. And this shit is based off of algorithms and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, it basically makes you like lose your focus as far as like being distracted as far as like what was you planning to do, and then it's like boom, it attracts you. Maybe it's something like a slingy or something like that. Just hypothetically speaking, it's like a slingy. You know, like maybe you was going online to buy oregano oil or some type of oil to diffuse something. You know, not even diffuse it, but like to dilute something. That's what the word I was looking for. And they might throw something like Amazon. These other corporations, they really, like you said, like them algorithm. I don't know how to say it, but
Algorithm.
exactly. What they will do is they'll basically gather a bunch of data upon like you're clicking, and then boom, that's how they get you. You know, and boom, now you're distracted.
What's the scripture like thou wise in the day?
Yeah.
28.
Yeah, and that's Esau because of his research. All his research that he's been done, he basically have gathered up enough information to where now he could predict how people how they think. Right? This whole Donald Trump thing with him being impeached. They had these politicians or these leaders laughing at him, and you could tell that the way the camera, like someone was recording it. How, you know what I'm saying? It's all a setup to where like to program you people's minds to where they want you to hate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all a gathering up to the prophecy to where the beast is gonna hate the poor.
Yeah, he's the fall guy. They have to create the the atmosphere of people rioting, you know, people with martial law that's coming. It's order at chaos, you know, pressure from above, pressure from below.
Right.
It's the old Hegelian dialectic. They've been doing this for years. They perfected it, and this is their last chance to try to get their perfection.
Yeah, they,
I'm just trying to think of the American Disabilities Act.
They about to put it out in full fledged.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what they've been staging, setting up for years, man. All right.
Gas.
This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
That's it. Yeah, you keep on reading them.
Come. This is verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches.
Yeah, this is how they get their riches. This is how they make their money. Using these algorithms, okay, using these different techniques that they use to gather people information. People give it to them voluntarily, you know.
Yep.
They're enticing advertisements.
When you put these different apps on your phones, you gotta accept certain things for them to be privy to, man.
Yep, access to your phones, access to your contact list.
Your mic, they want access for your mic to be turned on. Hey, you don't even have to really give them permission. It's already in there.
And
It's already in your phone.
they spent they invested $1 billion on these different fusion centers to keep all this information together and build up a dossier on it. So they'll know, are you a threat? Do you lean towards what we're pushing out? Are you buying into it? Or are you against it? You know? So that when the hour of martial law comes, they go to thin out the herd, they go to take the people out who are a threat to the so-called New World Order. All your posts are that you dislike videos, you said shit about Donald Trump, you said you'll speak out against homosexuals on a comment board. All of that is documented, man. And all it takes is for an executive order for the government to access that information from these private corporations, man.
Psalm 64, verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Hey, man, so-called white man, he accomplished a diligent search, man. He done researched our people to what kinds of foods affect us in the long run. You know, they'll do an experiment now to see how it affects you later on in life. Like this brother probably grew up in an era where kids was getting things like chicken pox. You know, you don't even hear kids about kids getting that.
Yeah, you don't.
These different vaccines, they put it in you, but there's certain things that they spray in the air, it affects you later on in life, you know? You see how, you know, it could affect you immediately? Like, 'cause you got some people get ailments that take them out quick, man. And then they got some things that take, like, 3 generations to finally catch up with you. Like, so-called black people are the only ones who only get, like, sickle cell.
Sickle cell.
Oh yeah, my friend was just actually doing a research paper.
You gotta speak up, brother.
My friend was just doing a research paper on muscular dystrophy. And that's basically when your muscle breaks down and it can get so bad to the point where you can't even walk. But he randomly just threw out a fact and he was like, yeah, the people, he's like, did you know the people that actually suffer from this the most are Hispanics? You know, so it was, you know, to him I made it seem like I was surprised, but I went back in my run and I wasn't shocked. You know?
And that scripture there goes right there to what this brother just was speaking on, man. You know, certain other tribes, you know, they went to Gad, you know, for, you know, just for an example, you know, they easily can get hooked on alcohol like that. You don't think they researched that to see that, hey man, we could get, you know, what is it, Talib Kweli, I think it was either him or most stuff got a alert to say, give the white, no, it was Lupe Fiasco, you give the red man liquor, black man Glocks and things, you know, but sometimes these rappers, they say certain things that spur them, man. You know, they gave us the GAD and Native Americans liquor. They give us drugs and guns in the community, man. You know? They give Latinos a heavy dosage of Cesare Borgia, man. You know?
It's all done by design, man.
That's right.
And the only reason why it works is because it's Esau's time to do it, you know? This is time of rulership,
Right.
you know?
So
This is Job chapter 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits.
Hey man, Esau is only going to give the limit to where he can take it. You know, and the Lord is pretty much about to be tired of his shit, man, so to speak. You know, and we all out here can attest to it. We tired of Esau's crap, man.
That's right.
You know, we tired of living in this place. Okay, we tired of punching clocks. You know, we're in a time where, you know, people traveling, you know, they either coming from work or going to work, or coming from one job to go to the next, man. You know, I worked the job with the public for years, man. And there's been times I could be out 2, 3 in the morning doing my job. And you got to see some senior citizens of our people, even theirs, still working jobs, man. You know, traveling throughout the night to, what the hell can a 67-year-old woman do guard security in one of these buildings, man? You know?
Hey, bro, I did a video. I don't know if your brother's seen it. Out there in the Midwest, there was a woman, a lady police officer. She tried to subdue a drunk guy. I can't say he was drunk, but he was under some type of influence. And the guy said, he grabbed her wrist, both her wrists. He was like, I'm stronger than you. And she got so pissed off, she backed up and pulled out her gun, right? But her being a woman, she shot the mother instead of the guy. Then she shot another shot and totally missed the guy. And you could tell, like, yo, that Edomite spirit, she didn't want to kill a guy. But if that was a so-called black man, he kill that man.
Because when they know when it comes to dealing with Jake, hey man, you better come with a woman cop better come with more than one.
It's the old hatred, man. It's the old hatred between Esau and Jacob.
Yep.
Yeah.
Psalm 64 verse 6. They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. In the margin actually for that it says, we are consumed by that which they have thoroughly searched.
Wow.
Yeah, but it goes on to say, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
That's right. Hey, and what's another part of their inward thought? You know, the scriptures say, the houses shall continue forever. And, you know, they thinking, you know, let Esau tell it. In the kingdom there'd be a resurgence of the Edomites, you know, and they building, they banding together and make another comeback. So there ain't gonna be none of that. Once that rule is done, that's it. Our rulership is forever. So every nation outside of Israel had the opportunity to rule over Israelites, man. Even these Moabites out here.
Now it's time for them to pay, and they don't want to pay up, man.
That's right.
But see, when they get us in the justice system, it's all about justice. You gotta serve your time. But now you as a nation of people have to serve your time for what you look at the fruit of the earth. What's going on the earth, man? You got wars, chaos, hell, murder. Okay, your corporations in Esau, Edom are making billions of dollars off the detriment of the other nations, man, and the detriment of our people, man. You got think tanks. Okay, you got foundations. Right, that are basically set up to think of more ways to trap our people up.
Right.
And more ways of how to establish their new world order more efficiently, man.
Right.
And people die behind your plans. When you implement your plans, people die, man.
Right.
And they don't think that they gotta pay for that, you know?
Hey, our plans, you know, our way of living will help prolong or bring forth more life, man.
Yeah.
Their way of thinking, you know, it brings forth death, man. You know, everything that they can mass produce can in the long run, produce death.
Yeah, and Yahweh Shah is ultimately coming to conquer death, man.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so that means the destruction of the bringer of death, man.
That's right.
Which is you Edomites, you so-called, Edomites, so-called white people, man.
Hey, it's beautiful because you said how they don't want to do their time. Well, the Most High got them all in the trick bag, you know, because they said, well, the law was already written out, so they got to do that time. It's not like they didn't know about the law. Well, they all these other nations, not just the Edomites, they all reading the scriptures, man. They all claim that they followers of the Lord. So they going to be destroyed and be held according to this, man. If a brother could get Psalms 50 and 16, you know? It's all, hey, you had something, brother? Oh, go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 50 and verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
And what does the so-called white man have to do with any of our laws, statutes, and commandments? You know, he could go to his system and ratify and change laws. You know, the scriptures say the Lord is, he changed not, man. We ain't gonna change laws to fit our agenda, you know, to fit whatever purpose it is we had. So what the hell do the so-called white man and any of these other nations got to do, you know, with our way of living, man? You know, they claim that America is a biblical-driven society.
Yeah. In God we trust.
In God we trust.
God we trust.
What God is that, man? It ain't the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, it's the God of this world, man.
Yeah, gold, oil, and drugs.
Oil and drugs, man.
Yeah, because they push out that whole YOLO spirit. They tell people, at least especially our people, especially the damn black woman, you can do whatever you want. So which God is you really serving, man? You know?
Which our women that follow after the ideology of the so-called white man, they're just doing themselves a disfavor, man. Because at the end of the day, when this society collapses, them and their children are gonna get it the worst, man.
That's right.
You know?
Hey, whenever people are taken, taking over, the women and children is the first to suffer, man.
Oh yeah.
That's the weakest link. Or the elders. You know, you watch a pack of wolves or wolf pack, they put the women and children in front. They put strong, a few strong wolves in the middle, and the leader of the pack, he trails everyone. You know, he's the strongest. You know, they leave no vulnerability in their movement.
This is Psalm 115, verse 2. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their power? But our power is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of men's hands.
Hey, and our power is within the heavens, man. Our power gave the power to this earth, or the power to do whatever it is he do. He produced his currency, you know, and his technology. You know, he thinks that he has the upper hand, you know, because he's dealing with left-handed energy, man. Hey, but who commissions that left-handed energy? Our power, man.
Yeah, the scriptures say does not the potter have power over the clay.
That's right.
You know, so the Most High fashion who he wants to fashion, how he wants to fashion, man.
Right.
All right, like the scriptures say, vessels of honor and vessels of dishonor, man.
Right.
All right.
And people
Psalms 47
worship
and 10.
creation
Yep.
rather than worship the creator.
Creator, yeah. You know, and that's their ignorance, that's their foolishness. You know.
Right.
Got it.
Precept. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 47 and 10. It says, according to thy name, O Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness.
What you got? Nah, Isaiah 47.
It's Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 10. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me.
You know, it just reminds you of Wizard of Oz, man. You wonder who held all of the strings. And then when that curtain is lifted, and you look and you see it's this little pathetic little dweeb of a man that's running things, man. The skirt has been lifted. The curtain's been pulled back, man. You exposed, man. We know who you are. We can go through the scriptures and see keywords and who is speaking on, man.
Who's already part
You know, we can go to the words like the devil who is speaking on a real man, a deceiver, man.
That's him right there.
Okay.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 69. And they that consent unto him, unto them, shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. God. So, you know, speaking of the Edomites, you know, once they bring in their new world order and they bring in their concentration camps, you know, they're gonna give the people an option, man. And the people that give over, you know, give their consent unto the to these Edomites, you know, they're going to be in derision, man. You know, they're ultimately going to be faced with death, man.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
This is
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 47, verse 2. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Hey, since this work picked up, since Abba Bivens, you know, that skirt has been being lifted slowly but surely to the point where now they fully exposed, man. You know, slowly but surely since you know, he came on the scene, you know, and bringing forth this doctrine that we have now, they've been exposed even more, you know, to the point where now it's time for the Lord to, you know, expose himself to the people.
That's right.
And that he is, man, through his son, Yahweh Shai.
More on that verse.
It says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man.
You think he's going to meet, you know, it's going to be a fair fight this time, right? And it wasn't fair on him when he was in, and you people put him to death. Okay? It ain't going to be and he's coming with his host of that, the heavenly host, man. Those so-called UFOs. You know?
Flame of fire.
That's right.
You know, make a quick riddance of it.
What it says, Scripture say he's going to make a speedily rich. In 1 hour shall Babylon be destroyed, man. And that's going to be a sight to see that, you know, all of us out here would like to see that. You know, the fall of our enemies and the salvation of the elect.
Yeah, this is Obadiah 1 verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Yeah, the Most High is going to bring you down to the ground, you know? Because he worried about, you know, he puts up the facade, he's worried about all of these terrorists, ISIS, and all of that. It's going to be the Heavenly Father. The scriptures say that the Lord's going to bring you to the king of terrorists, man. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, that's talking about your satellites, okay? When you so-called went to the moon, what did you say? You said the eagle has landed. All right, and that started the decline of your society in that time, in about the 70s, like the brother mentioned, Abba Bivens, okay? After the Vietnam War, that was the start of the decline of your society, man. And you had the Iran, the issues with Iran, okay, which is making being fully manifest in these times, man. All right, because it's going to be you going into Iran, messing with Iran, that's going to lead to the destruction of your country, man.
Right. He want to exalt himself on high, as if there's no other predator that can take him down.
Yep.
You know, like the eagle, man. You know, he exalted himself above all the nations, but the scriptures say that he's the basis of all the heathen, man. He's lower than a Moabite, man.
Yeah.
The border of wickedness.
The border of, hey, wherever he dwells, wherever he lay his head, you know, that's just wickedness there, man.
Malachi 1 verse 4, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
That's right.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Hey, he didn't say for a little bit of time. He said indignation with them forever, man. You just look at the state our people in, man. You think they, you know, he's building up America, you know, he's trying to rebuild certain roads because this place is falling apart, man.
Just crumbling. Yep.
It's
through the greed.
CCP.
It's through the greed of your own people, man. You so-called white people. You let the elite of your so-called people suck the riches out of the society and leave the people with nothing, man.
Right.
So now y'all gonna go to the streets and riot. Y'all gonna be met with hollow point bullets that were bought back in 2014, 2015.
And he's all gonna take everything, you know. We're supposed to leave enough for the poor,
Yeah.
you know. They gonna take even the damn the root.
Yeah, they plotting to take, just like they bailed the Becks out in 2008.
Yeah.
Well, the new bailout is going to be these people's deposits, man.
Right.
So you people that trust in your banking system, all right, you believe in your, because you got zeros in your bank account.
Right.
What you going to do when your bank, all right, takes that money, man? Because that bank is losing money, they going under, man.
Yeah, hey, because real fast, what's going on, right? These these guys, the elites, all right. What they're doing, they're sucking and squeezing all of the juice out of the society, and then you have these low Edomites working at Mom's Organic Market, Whole Foods, trying to do the right thing. These guys that work at the farm, they're trying to create these organic foods, right? But they're fighting against their own people, all right? And then they hate us for the way Esau had created us, right? Why? Because through the social media, through the media, right? That's all Jake hears, all the rap music. It's just totally bugging Jake out. But what you have, like the scriptures talk about, a nation against itself should not stand, all right? So that's what you have today, man. You know, you got these Edomites, these so-called white people, right? Trying to basically fight against their own people, but they don't really. They're only putting a Band-Aid over the wound or of a gunshot wound. You know, right. They're not really trying to get deep to the root of the issue. All right.
And the reason why is because the reason why is because the Heavenly Father is not letting them do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if Esau, as a matter of fact, get that way quick. Jeremiah 51. You know what I'm saying? Get Jeremiah 51. Get Jeremiah 51. Because you know that's get on Jeremiah 51.
This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 1.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind.
Right, so who's Babylon in the scriptures? And at this point, you know, you should already know who Babylon is, all right? Babylon, going back to the Hebrew, Babal, meaning what? Confusion. All right, the most confusing land on the planet Earth right now is indeed the United States of America. You could be looking at a man thinking it's a man when it's a woman. You think you're looking at a woman thinking it's, you know, and it's all confusing. All right, so it's not just sexually, but also you're talking about the finances, because the brother mentioned the banks, how the banks is going to be go solvent. Now, you have to understand the whole idea of having banks. That really goes back to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, okay? The real ultimate banker is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, okay? How do you know? We're going to get that, but keep going on Jeremiah.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 51 and 2. And will send unto Babylon fanners,
Right,
that shall fan her, and shall empty her land.
right,
For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
right. In the day of trouble, what is they shall be around her round about? You read Jeremiah the 50th chapter, right? It speaks of what? It speaks of the arrows. That's what we get that. Jeremiah 50 and read on 10. 50:10. Because we actually prophesying about what? We prophesying about the downfall of Babylon, aka these United States of America. All right? And the Bible prophesies that this place is going out by thermonuclear fire. Because this fire, like we spoken of before, this thermonuclear fire is not your regular fire. Okay? This fire comes from what? This fire is a spiritual concoction that comes from the fourth dimension. An example is what? You can light your house on fire, right? If you light your house on fire, brothers, do you get a radiation? So why is it that this particular fire leaves radiation? Remember, and like we go back, remember when the Heavenly Father, flooded the earth, he had water come down from the bottom, but he also what? The scripture tells you he opened up the windows of heaven, meaning you had water that came from what? From the spirit world. So guess what? So if you have water in the spirit world, you think that's the only element that's in the spirit world? It's fire as well. But the nuclear fire, that's the Lord's fire. That's why? Because that fire was meant to destroy the physical realm. But it's a spiritual fire, that's why, but the Lord put it into the minds of Teman, right, the modern day German of Edom, the so-called white man, to come up with that particular fire that would leave about what? Desolation and radiation, right? That's how we know that the downfall of America is a special downfall. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, keep on. No, 50, 10.
This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 10.
Right?
And Chaldea shall be a spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied.
But actually, starting now.
This is Jeremiah 50. chapter 50 and verse 9.
Right?
For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon.
Oh, I will raise the car and cause to come up against Babylon, against America. Go ahead.
An assembly of great nations.
An assembly of great nations. So Jeremiah is speaking about the third world's war. Jeremiah is speaking about the third world's war that's getting ready to take place. And in the midst of that third world's war, all the nations, right, are going to be gathered against and right about to destroy America. Go ahead.
It says, from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her.
And they shall set themselves in array against her. Keep going.
From thence she shall be taken.
From thence she shall be taken. Keep going.
Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
There you go. It says they're arrows. So what are those arrows? It's talking about what? What are the modern day arrows? Nobody is out here actually using ancient bow and arrows to go to war. So if it says a mighty expert, it's talking about marksman. So what is it talking about? I made a video, I think it was yesterday, about the latest thermonuclear warhead that the Russians have made. It's called it's called the RS-28 Salmat. When you look at the RS-28 Salmat, because you know brothers know about the Satan, right? Satan 1 and Satan 2. That's no longer the top tier. That's right. Satan 1 and Satan 2 is no longer the top tier nuclear missile that's in the armaments of Russia's armament. The latest weapon is called the RS-28 Salmat. Now, when you look at, like you said, when you look at the stats on it, and you look at the CEP, which is, I think it's circular error for probability, meaning what? Dealing with the accuracy of the missile. The accuracy of the missile. And it says 16 miles, meaning 16 meters, meaning, and it's talking about the warheads. The accuracy meaning if one warhead hits right here, the next one will hit in the next 16 meters. Why? Because you have certain missiles when it says 200 meters, meaning one warhead can hit right here, and then and the next one will hit in like Virginia. Which that's not what you want to do if you want to focus on a particular area. So the Lord is saying that what? That all these missiles, right, are gonna move like what? Like the way a man shoots an arrow, like a marksman. So that's why the Lord is what? He's making these Russians and all these nations what? Come up with better thermonuclear capability, man, to wipe this place out, man.
Yeah, they got the missiles. They're called hypersonic missiles.
That's right.
You know, they break the sound barrier. You know,
Right.
They reach up to certain Machs, man. And if they move, since they move that fast and they can break sound barriers, damn near you know, super fast. That means defense systems on Earth can't detect it, can't catch it.
Like you said,
You
brother,
know?
shooting it down would be like shooting a bullet with another bullet.
Yeah,
So what are the odds of you being able to do that?
right.
And the Lord said that finish that scripture, Brother.
God.
Read that scripture again.
Jeremiah 50 and it says verse 9.
Right.
For lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon.
Right.
An assembly of great nations.
Right.
From the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her.
Keep going.
From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
Keep going.
None shall return in vain.
None shall return in vain. So all these missiles are going to hit. They're going to hit their target. All right? Because that is the wrath of the Lord. And when you go deeper into that missile, the RS-28 Salmat, the word Salmat goes back to the Sarmatians, which goes back to a group of Persian, right? Check this out. This is the Sarmat part, right? It goes back to the Sarmatians, which were a group of Persians that pretty much were in league with the ancient Scythians. And if you know about the Scythians are who? Japhet. And remember, when we talk about what is the empire that took down of the Babylonian kingdom? It was the Medo-Persian Empire. So who were the Medes back then? It was actually Japhet. But when you move forward, the modern day Mede is who? It's Russia. Now, when you look at the Scythians or the Japhites were known for being what? The Scythians or Japhites were known for being marksmen in what? In bow and arrows. Okay? So that's why these Edomites, right? Russian Edomites, right? Have taken upon what? That spirit of the ancient Scythians or the spirit of the ancient Japhite, which is to shoot arrows and be marksmen at doing that, man. So that's why the scripture says it's going to hit the target, and all of these cities and neighborhoods, all of it's going to be wiped out, man. Go ahead, brother.
Joel chapter 2, verse 7. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
Right, and that wall is talking about the missile defense system, what they call NOAD. All right, that wall is an invisible wall, and the Lord it tells you in Ezekiel the 38th chapter that adults shall come into that mine, and thou shalt go into unwalled villages. All right, so what's the village without walls? It's talking about these United States of America, okay? Well, because this land doesn't have walls. They don't have an actual wall, although Trump said he's going to build a wall. Trump ain't going to build no damn wall. And really, to be honest, when they really start to build the wall, the only reason why they're going to build the wall is not to allow people to come in. It's to allow people in that way.
Go out.
They'll be able to go out. Because you cannot have an effective martial law unless you build walls in your borders to keep people in. That's why they're trying to build this wall, because the hour of martial law is coming. All right? And this is going to be what? This is going to be a place of great death and destruction.
Yeah, in the Revelation it says that the scriptures say, I sit at the queen, I shall see no sorrow.
That's right.
This place hasn't seen no sorrow. 9/11 doesn't count.
Nah.
Sorrow is continual, man. You know, it's talking about continual sorrow being put in this place. You know,
Yeah,
because
right.
when you look at these other countries that they getting bombed to smithereens, that's sorrow. America,
right.
you have this country has not seen that.
That's right. And you know, in the news, as brothers already know, all hell is breaking loose over there in France, right?
Yeah.
Paris was once known as the most beautiful city in the world. Right, the city of love over New York. Paris is clean as hell. I know my parents came back from them. I know a lot of people that's been in Paris, right? I've been there, but not for long, you know, but it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful city, man. But now, what does it look like? Now Paris is looking like what? Trash.
City on fire.
All right, it's a city on fire, like the brother said. And the yellow vests is losing their minds. Oh, now the regular Frenchman is losing his mind. Why? Because now the new legislations are coming after their pension funds. And you know, if you know anything about the Frenchmen, like I said, if you go to France, you realize something. Frenchman gets 3 months of vacation time. That's minimal for everybody. You know how we get 2 weeks a year? 2 or 3 weeks? They get 3 months paid vacations. Pregnant women get 9 months paid leave. That's why they got socialism. Now, the draconian laws, which goes back to what? The EU and NATO, and the fact that France is no longer a sovereign nation, since they've given out their currency right to NATO.
They got bought out.
They got bought out, so now they got to carry on the debts that Greece and all of these other nations have picked up. So now, how do you pay off your debts? They're coming, taxing people, pension funds, your future, taking away your future. That's right. But your future is your hope. And when you take a man's hope, what the scripture said? A man hope deferred maketh a heart sick. Hope deferred maketh a heart sick. So the reason how we know that all hell is going to break loose here is because the Lord is going to put the spirit on Esau to remove all the hopes by collapsing this economy. Right? All right. Oh, now go to Matthew that I had for you, brother. Right, because we have to understand what we investing on, brothers. Right? You know, the brother knows we always going into the economical aspect. Right? The brothers know the brother knows in the spirit. And we've always talked about this. A lot of these trials, a lot of these prophecies that have to happen, they just can't happen unless the economy collapses. That's right. The economy has to collapse. It has to hit bottom. Because why? A lot of these people have put their hopes and faith in Esau's currency, Esau's money.
I think it's real, man.
Come, this is Matthew 6 and 20.
Right.
But lay up for yourselves
Stop,
treasures.
brother. You said lay not up?
Lay not up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
No, brother. Read above.
We're above Salah. This is Matthew 6 and 19.
Right?
Lay not up yourselves treasure upon earth.
There you go. So lay not up yourselves treasures upon earth. Like we said, every man likes his money. All right? And as the scripture says in Timothy, like we broke it down, the scripture says in Timothy, for the love of money is the root of all evil. But then again, we said it, what money was the Lord referring to? The Lord was referring to the love of the money of this world. Because the scripture in Proverbs speaks about these words as a merchandise, as a currency. So if you're going to love money, this is the money you should be loving. Because if the currency of this world leads you, if the love of the currency of this world leads you to the root of all evil, that's the currency of what? The love of the currency of the Most High will surely lead you to what? The root of all righteousness. Why? Because every man loves his money and his riches. And the Lord has promised his riches. But it starts with spiritual riches. Keep going.
Come, this is Matthew 6:19.
Right.
Lay up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth
Now,
and
read it
rust.
again, brother.
Salat. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth,
Right.
where moth and rust do corrupt.
Now, what's that moth and rust? When you put your money in the bank, like the brother said, when these banks go solvent, right? They're going to wake up one day, man, and you're not going to be able to get your money. And when you go and trying to get your money, guess who you're going to see at the bank, brother? You're going to see 5-0. Why is the police? Why is the police standing in front of the bank stopping you from getting your money? I thought they're supposed to serve and protect and serve the people. That's when you're going to realize that these damn cops have been working for the elites the whole time, man. They've been protecting the investments of the elites.
Keep the funds going.
Right, and the only reason why when you made that call that somebody was robbing you when they showed up, because you were property of the state. Did you see that? Now that you act in a way that you're no longer a property of the state, they gotta shoot you. That's what we dealing with, man. And the majority of our people, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? A lot of you Negroes, you've invested your future in this place, man. America's dead enough to kill you Negroes, man. But you're still showing love to this goddamn place, man.
Yeah, you heard about that shooting with the cops in the UPS truck thing? Yeah, you got people talking about, so I hope every one of them cops get dealt with. But the police now obligated to protect the people.
You know?
They was using the cars as shields,
Hey.
and because that's what it is. They was protecting that jewelry store, man.
That's what it was.
Those two innocent people, the UPS driver and the innocent bystander, it didn't matter, and they're not gonna get judged.
Yeah,
It's gonna-
they killed up to, I think they injured up to 7 people.
It's gonna be proof in the pudding once they don't get charged. That they're not there to serve or protect you niggas, man.
That's right. America's never valued the lives, and it tells you that in Revelation. America, or Babylon the Great, has never valued the lives of the nation of Israel. All right, beginning with Judah on down to Issachar, man. It tells you that. Okay, go
This
ahead.
is Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 11. It says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make ye bare.
Ooh, read that again, call it, Baksha.
Isaiah 32 and 11. Tremble ye women that are at ease.
Why it says, tremble ye, that's the spirit. Tremble ye, tremble. Now read that again. I'm laughing. The brother knows why I'm laughing. That brother knows why I'm laughing. Go ahead and read it. That's the spirit of the Lord. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 32 and verse 11.
Right?
Tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled ye careless ones. Strip ye and make ye bare.
Right. The scriptures is speaking of the women of Israel. Okay? Now, of course, spiritually, right? Spiritually, we as Israelite men, we're also known as a woman. So we have to be in our P's and Q's spiritually, knowing that, oh, hell is breaking loose. We have to get back with our spiritual husband, which is who? Which is Yahushua HaMashiach. So our husband can cover us from what? From all these catastrophes that's getting ready to happen. That's why a woman hides behind her husband. Now, the majority of Israel, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, have decided, right, because they're part of a club called 2/3, they've decided to not hide behind their husbands. But the elect have. Well, now, when you look at the physical side, our physical women, what have they done? They've decided to betray us. They've decided to sell out to the enemy, to Edom, Esau, and the rest of the nations.
Yeah, serpent, man.
And his serpents and the biggest traitors, you're talking about Judas. Listen, of course, Judas is still up there because he did betray the Lord. You know, he still holds, unfortunately, that number one spot. But right behind him, you're talking about the women in Israel, man. You're talking about the women in Israel. Like I was telling the brother, you had a situation where you got the Queen of Heaven moving, and you see the demon Satan moving on these women to come after brothers hard, when our enemy is kicking our asses, but in our women's mind, the enemy is her man, the man of her own nation. That's why you see child support has been Child support has been going up. Why? Because without the Negro, Hispanic, so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American women playing into that, child support would be nothing. It would be irrelevant. So read that scripture again.
Isaiah 32 and verse 11.
Right?
Tremble ye women that are at ease.
Right? And the women are at ease. The women are at ease. The women in the nation of Israel, they're like children. All right? Every time you go to the court system, right? You go to the court, a woman can actually just come out and say, a woman can slap you in the face, and there's literally a lot of times nothing you can do about it. A woman can just come out and give out a fake accusation, false allegation, right? And you got a whole wicked system going back to what? Going back to the Garden of Eden, right? With Esau and Eve, or the spirit of Esau, the serpent and Eve, making that deal, that huge betrayal, where a woman can just have you buried, man. Yeah. She can have an innocent man buried. And a lot of our people, so-called Negroes specifically, beginning with the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi on down, brothers have been buried in the system because of our women, man.
Jake would just say, Jake would just say that, oh, that's fucked up. They'll just say that.
Nah, they supposed to read that scripture again. This is what they're supposed to be doing. Well, this is what's gonna happen, and this is what is happening. Read it, right? And get read that.
This is Isaiah chapter 32 and 11. Tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones.
Yeah, that's it. Proverbs 14. So I'll read it again.
It says, tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones.
Right, why are they at ease? Because Esau gave them all these gifts.
That's right.
They gave them all these privileges. They gave them a so-called right to speak, a right of choice. You know, their brother put out a picture, a woman's choice. They present it as a woman, she can have it. It's her choice to do something.
And women,
but when a man makes the same choice,
right,
it's illegal. It's a crime.
Right.
You see? So the woman with that in her mind, she may not be thinking that. Well, no, she is. She is. Wait a second. She is. She knows that and she uses that. Right. That's why the scripture says you need to be trembling, because you women, you shouldn't be doing that.
That's right.
Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. And brother, also they have authority over what? Over your seed that's within them.
Yeah.
The woman has been given a right to murder your child. Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing to do about
it. That guy wanted to battle his wife because she wanted to change his sex at like 4 years old.
Yes.
Yeah, he lost that.
Oh,
he lost it.
Yeah, I remember that.
He lost it.
He lost it.
Yeah, he lost, yeah.
And that was a well-known story.
Is that Israelite, man?
I'm not sure if he was Israelite.
You look at the Edomite.
That's a hell of a curse, man. That's a hell of a, that's crazy as shit, man. That's why we got to get out of here, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Sirach 26 and 7. It says, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Yeah, and in this man's system, if you get a woman, a wife according to his system, is definitely a snare.
Yeah, that's right.
If you can read that again.
That's right.
Because that's exactly what it's talking about.
Yeah, you're dealing with scorpions, man.
Because now you have invited Esau into your relationship.
Absolutely.
Into your pockets.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
That's right.
It says, an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Right, because why? Because what is a scorpion? Because a scorpion has a deadly bite. Why? You get into an argument with your woman, you shove her, she calls the police, they get 20 squad cars show up. Now you going in for what? What's domestic dispute? Right, domestic violence.
Assault and battery.
Assault and battery and domestic violence, which you know anything about Babylon, right? Which Babylon is a whore, it's a woman. But that spirit of the Queen of Heaven is gonna protect that woman, and she's gonna want to bury your ass, man. She's gonna want to bury you, man. So that's what it means for a scorpion. You're dealing with somebody that can bite you to death at any time. You can get into an argument with her, and she's gonna call one of the uncle grimy niggas. He come in and blow your head off.
Oh yeah. And these women killing dudes too, man.
That too as well. That's right.
I just seen a video. I've seen a video. It was this older Jake. These two like in their mid-20s Jakes. He came up, pulled up, talking about something. Which one of y'all so and so and so and so? You call my mother a bitch? You call my mother a bitch? And they just jumped him
And that's it.
just because he called her a bitch.
That's it.
You know? And she
That's
probably
that
was
deadly-
acting like
That's that deadly, I said viper or stink. That's
Yeah, you
that
got
deadly stink.
Man, we got, wise as a serpent, harmless and doves in these times, brothers. Right, bring that out, bro. Shot.
Proverbs 14, verse 12.
This is a scripture that's going to be coming out a lot more coming down the pike, man. Go ahead, Doc.
There is a way which seemeth right unto a man.
Right, because, man, coming up, it's going to be, Esau's going to present a lot of wicked things,
Look different.
all right, as being good, and he's going to seduce a lot of our people, man.
right.
And I'm speaking specifically of that mark of the beast.
That's right.
A lot of you women, all right, you're going to be super at ease because you have that in your mind. No, you have, well, yeah, you have it in, you're going to have even your head or in your hands. And you're going to start with, it's going to start with your kids. What's Esau going to do? He's going to come to your door, or he's going to come to the school. He's going to take your kids from you if you don't give him that chip. Now you're going to say, you know what? Well, that seems right. He can protect everything. He's already paying for my welfare. He's already paying for my groceries. You know, he can take control of the kids. But guess that's the end of the way of that chip. All right, and of being at ease are the ways of death.
That's right.
And that is according to the prophets, man. All the prophets saw our women and Israel as a woman itself being trodden down in the streets.
That's right.
For not obeying or getting under the cover of Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Keep going on that.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
Right. Jump back to 32.
This is Isaiah 32 and verse 11.
Mhm.
Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones.
Yeah.
Strip ye and make ye
Why are
bare.
they careless? Because they have no rationale.
That's
They're
right.
operating on emotions. See,
That's
we
right.
have emotions. It's the spirit. The elder brought out the video about emotional intellect,
That's right.
all right, or intelligence, all right. Rather, we have that. These women, they can't control it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, they are careless. They're
right.
careless with it.
That's
Brother,
right.
if we were careless with our emotions, there would be no camps.
That's right.
You know, there would be no one out here doing the work. We all be out here acting like the women. That's why you see the majority of our men, they not out here doing what we doing.
That's right.
Because they're not trembling. They're not in fear. Can you get Psalms 2 and 11 out? Because Psalms 2 and 11, this should be the your mindset, man, and everything. Even whether the Lord is giving you something good to you or whether he's doing something bad to you.
That's right.
This is what you read that up.
Yeah, this is Psalms 2 and 11. It says, serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling.
That's it. And so what's that mean? In all things you have to fear Yahweh Shai and tremble.
That's right.
Back to Isaiah, or you got some more? Yeah, come.
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and 15.
Right, because the elder brother Menagon spoke about what the chip and the fact that the majority of our people, beginning with the women of Israel, are at ease. So therefore, they're really going to ease into that chip. Okay, since they're at ease mentally and spiritually, they're going to ease into that microchip. They're going to get chipped, and they're going to get their children chipped. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it unless your child is slated to be part of your elect, and that nasty bitch gets put to death, and you get to ride with your child like that movie The Road. That's the only way as a man of law, because there were women that gonna crumble when this thing hit the fan.
Or just like the woman in the road, she crumbled.
She
just
crumbled
walked
in the
out.
very beginning.
Yeah, she just
The
walked out.
very first scene was her giving up.
Yeah, she flaked.
Giving up.
Because he killed all them up. He killed all her homies. He
Nah,
slept-
Not the
No,
road.
that
The
was
road.
the road. That was road.
What's that?
That's Book of Eli. My bad. That was Book
Not
of
the
Eli.
road. Remember the road in the movie in the beginning?
I gotta watch it again.
Right, his wife walked out and said, listen, they're gonna rape me anyways. They're gonna do this. I don't want you and my child to see that. So I might as well go ahead and let that happen. That's a mind of a what? A person full of doubt.
She gave up.
No hope.
She gave up.
For us, we do have hope. Why? We got the words. Okay? We got the scoop. Right, brother?
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and 15. My son, walk not thou in the way with them.
Right?
Refrain thy foot from their path.
Right?
For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood.
Right, their feet run to evil and make haste, because Solomon is speaking about 2/3 and a mindset of the 2/3. Right? Keep going.
Verse 17.
Now check this out. This is the main point. Right?
Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird.
You see that? What does that mean? Read that scripture again. Why is it that we know we're going to be all right? Because of this. Go and read it again. And picture ourselves, we are the birds, right? We are the birds. So go ahead and read that.
Proverbs 1:17.
Right?
Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird.
And right, because you can't, once the bird, you know how they got the bird traps? Basically, the scripture says, if you're setting up the bird trap in front of the birds, he ain't gonna fall for it. And I've never seen a bird fall for a trap where he saw the human set up the trap in front of him. So the Lord is saying, we are those birds, and we're seeing this net called an RFID microchip being set up in front of us. Ain't no way in hell we gonna fall for that, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So you cannot cast the net in front of what? In the sight of the bird, because he won't fall for it. All right? So that's why, because he's able to see the trap. How are we able to see it? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given us the light. He's given us his words and his prophecies, man. All right?
Go back to Isaiah 32.
This is Isaiah 32 in verse 12.
You know, the spirit, you know, mind, get back to 13. Matthew 13. Matter of fact, you get Matthew 13. Finish some more of that right there.
You got the scriptures?
Isaiah 32:12.
You got it.
They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine.
That's good. Go to Matthew 13. Matthew 13 and 9.
Matthew 13, verse 9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear.
Right.
And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
Right. And part of the mysteries, all right, part of the mystery of the kingdom is that chip, man. You have to know that that chip is an obstacle, okay? That thing stands between you and the kingdom. Get Revelation 14. Get the judgment for taking this. This is part of what's gonna stand in the way of a lot of people and getting into the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. All right. Now read that.
This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image.
Right, boom. That's the parable right there. That's the riddle right there. You gotta stop. Because even dealing with that, man, our people don't understand. They're into all this mysticism and what ifs. There is no what ifs about the beast through the spirit, you know? Go ahead.
It says,
oh, Salaki, read it again so we get the explanation. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead.
Right. So who's the beast? The part of the beast when you go to the top of the chapter.
This is Revelation 14 and 1.
I'm sorry, 13 and 1.
13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, and the 7 heads and 10 horns represent NATO. All right, in the old times, those 10 horns they had their ancient names. All right, the Ashgagas, the Vigisas, so forth and so on. All right, the Regales, the Burgundies. But guess what happened? They got taken down. All right, when the ancient the Roman Empire was in effect. Man, they went around and they took down all those people. Now they wrote that beast rose up again. Those 10 horns, but that's why when you go to Revelation, it says they have received power with this beast. All right, 1 hour. So we're in a time when that beast or the EU is controlling things, man. You saw the brother talking about France has to defer because they're part of a bigger conglomerate. That's that miry clay that Daniel saw. It's the same thing that John the Revelator is seeing. Someone say that? No, go ahead, let's go. Yep.
Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the
name of blasphemy.
Right, now go back to 14 and 9.
Revelation 14 and 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
Right, so in his image, all right? You got something you want to bring out?
Yeah. We put together a paper that says the beast in his image. And part of the philosophies equal image of the beast, it says democracies, religions, idolatry, worship, homosexuality, lies, adultery, covetousness, financial system, IMF, it's the International Monetary Fund, that comes out of the beast. Patriotism and nationalism, it says greed for natural resources, Hollywood and entertainment, political systems, military industrial complex, and murders. Okay, all of these are part of the image of the beast. Okay?
Go back, read that again.
Revelation 14 and 9,
And the list goes on. That's a short list. Go ahead.
and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
Right, so now this is talking about an actual mark. But guess what? This happened before, but it wasn't an actual mark, okay? It was the image that's spoken of here, because that image is a philosophy, all right? It's a doctrine, it's a belief system, all right? And that happened before. It happened before, and we're gonna get the story. I'm gonna, you have something up?
Talking about Daniel.
The third chapter.
The third chapter.
Let's go, yep. Yeah, start at the top.
This is Daniel chapter 3, verse.
Because that's what Nebuchadnezzar did to all the Israelites. And that's what Nebuchadnezzar's gonna do to all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Again, everybody on earth, though.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
Well, let you know there's nothing new under the sun, because not only that, Esau being Esau, but during the time of the Maccabees, because we've been going over the Maccabees, he did the same thing.
Right.
He said, I'm gonna have everybody lose their laws. Everybody, it wasn't just Israel.
Yep.
It was all the nations.
Yeah.
So where are all the nations again? Here in America. And he was like, look, you're gonna leave your laws, statutes, and everything, and you're gonna follow this, or you're gonna be put to death.
Let's run that, James.
This is Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold.
See, that's why we're known as the prophets, because we can relate this to today. Other people read this and they just think it's a story. All right? This actually happened, man. Nebuchadnezzar had a gigantic golden statue. Just like you see these pyramids and these sphinx in Egypt, Nebuchadnezzar had his own statue erected, man. All right? And that's what's going on right now. Where everybody falling into the Queen of Heaven spirit. Everybody believing the same way as well. We all gotta love each other. We all gotta come together and build this Tower of Babel again, basically. Yeah, don't hate, you know? Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. And he set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors and the captains, the judges and the treasurers, the counselors and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Right, and everybody is already seen the dedication of the image, man. You've been indoctrinated with it your whole life. That's why the scripture says, as newborn babes, man, you have to start all over again. All right, because now you have to dedicate yourself, rededicate yourself to the Lord, man, to Yahweh Shemi Hawashad. That's the spirit we just came out of Hanukkah, which means the dedication. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image.
Right, which falls into what? Which falls into the category of it doesn't matter if you're rich or if you're young, all right? Or rich or poor, or old or young. Everybody's gonna have to come to the face of this image to make a decision whether you're gonna worship it or whether you're gonna say hell no. You're gonna say la'ah, which means no. Go ahead.
that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud to you, it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages.
Right, and we have, whether we like it or not, because we're slaves, we have to stand in front of this image. Every single day we deal with this bullshit ass image, all right, that Esau's pushing forth, man. And it comes in many forms. The brother just went down the whole list. You know, you could feel. It's not that we looking at an image. You can feel the vibration, and then sometimes it'll manifest itself, man, in music, all right, and the people that you encounter. Now go ahead.
It says, verse 5, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image.
What verse is that?
Verse 5.
Come. Go ahead.
That Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up, and whoso falleth not down and worship it, shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Now you see that? Now read Revelation 14. That's exactly what's going to happen again. If you don't bow down to his image, but this time he's going to force you to put a mark inside of your hand, a chip, all right, to track you everywhere you go, to control your finances, all right? Because if he controls your money, he controls you. You know, and really it's fake. He's putting this thing, first of all, the money that we have right now is fake. So when he puts the chip inside of you, it's for nothing. He's telling you, it's like that that movie, you gotta watch it again, Just in Time with my man JT. That was a good ass movie.
Out of time.
Oh, Out of Time, yeah, Out of Time. And that's the water for correcting me, brother. That's exactly what's going on right now, man. You people are running out of time. Because this time is artificial, man. And that's a whole nother topic. The way this man just changes times and seasons and stuff like that, man. They'll have you confused.
Revelation 14 and 9. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Right, now how is that going to happen? It's going to happen by way of the missiles. If you come and get Job 20. All right, because that fire is coming, man. Ain't the Olympics 2020? It is. Where's it going to be at? Oh, okay.
Come on.
Russia's going to take it, man. All right? But Russia's going to take America for the takings, man. All right? But they're not going to take it like they're going to take it over. They're going to destroy this place, man. Russia, Iran, China, through prophecy, man, we know that they're going to destroy this place. Just like Noah knew that water was going to fall, he needed to make an ark. We making our ark right now. We don't give a damn what you people think, man. It's supposed to look completely foolish and out of this world. This is supposed to look so abnormal to you. But guess what? Like the Lord said, he had blinded the eyes that they cannot see, the ears that they cannot hear. So you can't get these mysteries. It's going to be a mystery right up until your ass gets killed in this place.
It's never going to rain. It's never going to rain.
Right, man. Because the people, they actually saw the mist coming up from the earth every day. It was automatic. Just like in these times, everything is automatic to people. Wake up, go to work, save up, try and go on vacation, you know, plan the family reunion 2 years in advance, you know. Yeah, go holiday shopping. Pack like a bunch of roaches around a piece of cheese in Walmart, man. You know. Go ahead, Doc.
Hey, bro, because, I just read it. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2 says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of thy salvation and his salvation so far beyond all that they look for.
Right.
So that's the point. It's so far beyond all that they look for.
Yeah.
They expect us to be building some sort of spaceship, you know what I'm saying, if we to escape what we say is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not going to look like what they expect. You know,
Esau's been working on their minds, on these people's minds at a young age with his movies, with his TV shows, that the TV coped with being stuck in church with somebody lying to you about the scriptures every week. Esau's got this man, everybody out here confused, man. This is gonna be so easy when he brings the deacon board. All right, when the collection plate comes along, it's gonna be syringes and napkins, and on the projector screen, instead of words of what he's saying, it's gonna be instructions on how to chip yourself. And it's gonna be police officers and military at the doors, man. Imagine that. You go to church and it's an M16 at the door. And they saying, well, yeah, we just here to protect you because it's a high terror threat during the holidays. Oh, by the way, you also need to get chipped. Because when you go to Giant, you ain't gonna be able to get your food. You see how they gear people up for the real ID? And they said it's mandatory. They started sending everybody. That's exactly what's gonna happen with the chip. But it's gonna be worse. They're gonna tell you if you don't take this thing, we're gonna fine you $10,000 a day.
And they're gonna say, with all this chaos going around, all these kidnappings, you better take that chip so we be able to locate you.
Yep.
You know,
well,
it's
you
gonna
got
be
a lot
bad.
of these women at my job, a lot of them saying they don't feel comfortable coming to work. They don't know how they're gonna get to work anymore because they're scared they're gonna get kidnapped, human trafficking.
They don't fuck with Uber.
They catch they don't fuck with Uber or Lyft no more. So a lot of them are paying more to get to work because they're scared. Now Esau's gonna say, well, if you take the chip, we can always track you. If you get human traffic, we can find you like Eagle Eye. You know what I'm saying? Or that movie, what's that movie? In Brothers, that too, or Echelon Conspiracy, when it was following the dude and telling him what to do. That's what Esau wants to do. He wants to control you, man. Now, if you let this man to control you and your livelihood, guess what? Fire is coming for you. And we're gonna describe what that fire is.
When they shall say peace and safety and sudden destruction.
Yeah, people are at peace, man.
Because with that microchip, they're gonna promise peace because it's gonna be all hell gonna be breaking loose, man.
Yeah, there's so much stuff going on around the world. If we broke it down, how much stuff these people, it still wouldn't affect them. They would still go do whatever the hell they gotta do. They're not gonna be mindful, you know, until it hits home. You know, the people generally don't care about things unless it's affecting their immediate families. And then even then, you have a lot of people, because the love of many shall wax cold, they don't even care. You know? These people don't even care. Like, something could happen to like one of their uncles or their cousins, and they're like, fuck it, you know?
Brother and sister.
Yeah, brother and sister too. You got a lot of jakes that just don't give a damn, man. All right, but within the livelihood of the Akim, man, we care, man, through the spirit. You know, we ain't just saying one of our family members get put to death. We understand why. You know, if they were somewhat sincere, we'll feel for them. But if they was wicked, see you on the other side, nigga, or nigga, bitch, whatever. Excuse my language. You know, because I have family members that died. Some of them funerals I ain't go to. Y'all just see you on the other side. Go ahead,
No, the scriptures say that any man perish being innocent.
Yeah.
You know, we have that wisdom to understand something's supposed to happen.
That's the standard right there. Is any man perish being innocent. Let's get back to read that, Joe. Yeah, read Malachi. That precept, Malachi. No. Read Job.
This is Job chapter 20 in verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him.
And he's filling his belly right now. Keep going.
It says, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Keep going.
He shall flee from the iron weapon.
I'm sorry. Where'd you start at? Okay, yeah, start at 20. Yeah.
Job,
19.
this is Job chapter 20 and 19.
Because there's something in the news that happened recently that this scripture basically brings that what happened in the news brings this scripture to life. All right, we filter everything that we see throughout the week as men of the Lord and prophets and filter it through the scriptures. So that's what we're going to do. Go ahead, all right.
Job 20 and 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not.
It said he violently took away a house that he builded not. Isn't this Isn't this Native American, so-called Native American month? Is that November or is that October? I think it's a Columbus Day month. It might have been last month. Regardless, this man, he celebrates it all the damn time, man. Knowing damn well that's not his land. You could run that preset back out, Bakushan.
Job 20 and 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house, which he builded not. Surely he shall feel no quietness in his belly.
Right, and he's not feeling quietness in his belly because in the article about Trump, his cabinet's talking shit about him, man. He's having a hard time trying to accomplish what he wants. I was listening on NPR. I was listening to the Jazz and Justice, and they doing the whole climate thing over there, and Trump is not allowed to visit certain countries, man.
Yeah, over there in Europe.
He left some of his visits. He had to leave early. They were talking in secret. I forget what it was. Either he was talking shit about his cabinet, or his cabinet was talking shit about him. Either way, a couple weeks back they said that he's lost his shit. One little thing will happen on Twitter, and his whole schedule's fucked up. He won't go to no meetings.
He left the meeting with NATO.
Yeah, that's the one. The summit.
He left early because they was laughing at him. He was like the fake news media. He said, you know.
Yeah. And well, even aside from just Trump, I'm just talking about Esau in general. The whole thing with climate change. All right. The whole thing with climate change. You're not going to be able to fix anything. You're going to continue to be in straits trying to fight to fix the environment, man. You know why? Because your fight is faithless. It's not grounded spiritually. And if it is, it's not unified, man. When you ask these people that believe in climate change, you ask them, what God do you call on? Ask 10 people. Don't tell them and separate them. Ask who's the God that you call on. That's the problem, man. Because the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, created the heavens and the earth. He has a plan for, he has his own plan for climate change. It's called Destroy America, man.
Yeah.
Hey! Take Esau from out of being having power. Go ahead, shoot it, brother.
Con, this is Isaiah 24, verse 5.
That's it.
It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
Right. Go ahead.
Therefore have the curse devoured the earth.
Right, and what happened? The thing is, what's one thing about a curse? When somebody puts a curse on someone else, how can that curse get reversed? It can only get reversed by the person who did it.
The caster.
Now you got these people arguing for climate change and legislations. The Lord said this place is defiled because of the ordinances, man. Esau, just because you have a bunch of people gathering in Spain, all the world environmental leaders, all right? Just because you're gathering, you're not gonna be able to do nothing, man. Climate change is gonna come when America gets destroyed, man. All right, the Lord says He's gonna create a new heaven and a new earth.
That's right.
Where is that in climate change talks in the summit, man? It's nowhere. That's why it's gonna fail. It's gonna crumble. If this work be not of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, it's gonna stop, man.
That's right.
And we not stopping. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 57 and 20. But the wicked are like the troubled sea, when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, saith the Most High, to the wicked.
Hey, that's what's going on. Because when I was listening, you man Gary Love, he dropping some jewels, bro. Got catch them episodes, bro. They were supposed to have the thing in Chile. All right, they were supposed to have it in Chile, but it's so much shit popping off there. It's so unpeaceful there, like the scripture says, that they had to move it to Spain. The Chilean president said, nah, a couple months in advance. You gotta take it to Spain. It's basically too dangerous here. You know, we can't do it here. You know, you even having trouble finding meetings for climate change. That's how you know it's not with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's program, man. Let's go back to Job. Get back to the program. We'll hop in there.
Now I was going to say, climate change is another god. If you look it up, it goes back to another deity. It's like, this world is infested with different gods, and that vibration that they pushing, that they're going green and everything. That's a vibration of another god. Which just shows the downfall. That's another format of the downfall of America, because America and other certain countries are on the forefront of climate change. And you got these other countries that want to do climate change as well. But those plans are not succeeding. Why? Because the influence is not from Yahweh Shah.
Right. That's the point. That's our main point, man. No change is gonna take place unless Yahweh Shah is working with you. We talking about a spiritual change, man. Making things completely righteous.
Right.
Not temporary fixes. Because what these people are doing, they're trying to do temporary fixes. You got different businesses at this summit thinking of ways how they can cut budgets and scale back on different things. Scaling back, and they're doing this for long term. Yahweh Shah, his going to be immediate, 1 hour. Boom, the change happens, and we in 100% righteousness with the climate and the animals and everything.
Right. We need climate. Esau, none of Esau's agenda can work.
Right.
You know, and the thing is, I was thinking about what you just said. When you look back, when the temple was defiled with the Maccabees, was the ordinance that they brought forth was an ordinance of the law, and then when something was defiled, what had to happen? Everything had to get torn down and then brought back up. That's just like the whole thing that happened with Nineveh. The Ninevites, they fasted, they prayed, and then the Most High had mercy on them. But America has so much charges trumped up, if you will. There's no way you can knock down half of or refix the agenda, and then it can be some form of righteousness after. No, everything of America has to be white, smooth, clean.
Right, because you have animals. It doesn't matter if businesses stop doing stuff. Look, animals' minds have been changed because of the chemicals in the air. How are you going to change the minds of certain animals from doing things?
Yeah, let me say this. Off of add what you say. The scripture says in Revelation 12:12, right? If you can get that very quick, because the brother spoke about animals, right? You got it? Yeah. Go ahead.
Revelation 12:12.
Right.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Right.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Now, the inhabitants of the sea are what? The sea creatures, right? Go ahead.
For the devil is come down unto you. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right. If you know about the oil spill, right, which that's just a minor. Do you understand that a lot of these governments, beginning with America, has dumped a lot of Prozac in the waters? You know about it. You know what Prozac does? It bugs you out. So with all that Prozac in the water, what it's done, it's messed up. It's messed the mind up of the scavengers. No, you know the scavengers of the sea, such as the shrimps and the crabs, they're supposed to remain in the bottom of the sea. But now they've done research and found out all the scavengers are coming up. And when they're coming up, they get snatched up by what? Different types of fishes. Meaning they're committing suicide. The reason why they're supposed to stay in low waters so that what? The predators would not get down there and get them. But they also juiced up on Prozac that they're doing abnormal things in the sea that's leading to them being what? Being killed. Right along with the ocean.
Well, you know these Edomites, these other nations, they're mining the bottom of the ocean floor for natural resources that you put in cars and computers and stuff like that, which is upsetting the environment too.
That's right.
You know?
Oh, speaking of the environment, you got your precept
Bring it up real quick. It's Job 12:7. Right. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. Or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee.
Meaning what? Majority of so-called white people should kill yourself.
That's right.
Go jump off in one of these buildings, man. It's saying what you heathens.
That's right.
You damn gooks catching rats and serving them to people, man.
Go to oil.
Don't you know as filthy and disgusting rats are, they have a purpose.
Yeah.
And you made a perfect point. It's like you see the behavior of certain animals, they telling you that something ain't right. You know, you hardly ever, like, you can go a whole summer and see and don't see one single honeybee.
Look at when it rains. You see, I seen flying V's. You ain't supposed to see that. The flying V's supposed to happen before the rain comes. You know, because the earth is not nature, birds, grass. You know, it's not in tune with the times. I think your brother read that earlier. Daniel, we shall think to change times and seasons.
You know who that birds chirping at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
The circadian rhythm is off.
That's right.
You know, because the lights in the firmament is supposed to guide the schedule or the calendar of the world.
That's right.
With the Esau, he does with his heart programs and his different mechanisms and things of that nature. It rocks the rhythm of the earth. The earth is in it's supposed to be a harmonious arrangement with the Heavenly Father. You know, first of all, the children of Israel are supposed to be in a harmonious arrangement, and the earth was made for Israel's sake. What was the blessing of Jacob? The blessing of Jacob was the one that had the whole earth in subjection. Now, if Jacob's mind is rock, then the earth is rock.
That's right.
See, everything is all lopsided, man. You know, everything is all filtered. There's no the frequency is man. Yo, you trying, if you're doing a song, you got one guy on the piano, you got another guy doing the guitar. You know, and if you got the other guy on the saxophone, he's all over. You gotta get him out the motherfucking way. He's not a part of the song. And that's what Esau Edom is, man. He's the son of the wicked.
And then they talk about 5G too.
Yeah.
So
Because the brother Shaz mentioned climate change, right? How it goes back to another God. That's actually true because we will get that on Jeremiah right about 50 started 1.
Jeremiah 50:1.
Right.
The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans.
Right, against the land of the Chaldeans. And you know what the Chaldeans were known for, right? Witchcraft.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
By Jeremiah the prophet.
Go ahead.
Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard.
Right.
Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken.
Babylon is taken, right? Go ahead.
Bel is confounded.
Right.
Merodach is broken.
Now, Merodach, when you look up that word Merodach, it goes back to the word Murdoch. You ever heard of the word Murdoch?
Yeah.
Where the word Murdoch, actually, it goes back to a god, an ancient Babylonian god of climate. You know, you talk about the climate changes and agriculture, because that's what the climate change is all about. It's about the climate and how the climate helps the agriculture of the nation. So the nation of Israel will actually worship Murdoch, or really Murdoch, when you look at the ancient Babylonian god Murdoch, for what? For agriculture, for climate change, so that the climate will be better, right? So then what? So they can have a bigger harvest.
Yeah.
That's
More money.
This money is heavy right there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, look where we at. God of commerce. You know.
Read that.
Jeremiah 50:2.
Right.
Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken. Bel is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces.
There you go. That's that so-called God of the climate change back then in ancient Babylon. Well, what's modern day Babylon? It's America.
Yeah.
All right? So when they go into this climate change thing, what the brother said, they had meetings in Copenhagen because they're moved by that deity, right? And they push draconian laws such as carbon footprint. Are they going to start charging you for how much CO2 that you actually put forth in the atmosphere?
And they do that. They do that in the states in some ways. In some of the states, it's real hot where water is scarce. I know in Texas, I used to go out there in the summers growing up. Sometimes we couldn't take showers at certain. You had to wait to take a shower at a certain time of the day because that's when your neighborhood could take a shower. And then they regulate your water. If you use it too much, if you out there washing your car, you can get a citation.
Well, real fast, certain utility companies in the Maryland, after like before 7 o'clock, if you like use the water, electricity, gas, they'll charge you more. So like after 7 o'clock, it's best to use that. You know, like say, yep.
Yeah, because they don't have enough to actually supply the people when they're all using it at once.
Well, to say that, I would say that because you got something called artificial scarcity.
I was just going to say
You know,
that.
and Esau's a devil. You know what I'm saying? Because there's enough water, and there's enough. It's just artificial scarcity is how you That's how you regulate the water for the money. But he will have you believe that we don't have enough.
That makes no sense.
You know what I'm saying? But it's artificial scarcity. It's wickedness.
The majority of the earth is water.
That's right.
Well, I got it right. Yeah, that makes no damn sense. It says, this is the Britannica. I got, the name is, Demeter. Maybe, Demeter. See, look, what a coincidence, right? Demeter. It looks like, Demeter. How do they get you with that meter?
That's right.
You know? It says what? It says, in Greek religion, daughter of deities Cronus and Rhea, right? Sister and consort of Zeus, the king of the gods, and the goddess of agriculture.
Wow,
Yeah.
sisters.
And the daughter of Cronus. And Cronus, that's the god of time, right?
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, that's the phone.
No, you just added to that.
Sister and consort of Zeus. That's what it says. Consort of Zeus.
Well, they show you that in that movie. Not that movie.
Or wife or husband.
That series, American Gods. I don't know, bro. John Knowledge, American God, that chick.
I just said it.
Oh, yeah, she had that spring, that deity. She just killed everything. She destroyed.
Oh, but that was the goddess. Well, the same thing.
Yeah,
Ishtar.
Yeah, Ishtar.
Ishtar, because it was still in Easter.
Yeah.
It was all around the time.
Yeah, but essentially the same concept. Agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is spring.
But that's a lie. That's a lie. It's certain islands that have, because the brother was saying they might run out of water on Earth by the year 2030, which, you know, we're not going to be here in 2030. There's certain islands that got distilleries on them where they don't even import water at all. They just use the water that's outside around the island and just distill it there on the island.
Well, you have that Jake out in Flint, Michigan, where he created those generators to create water for free. And then you had Esau come. You could tell it was CIA agents, bro.
Esau is a liar. I know, bro. Remember that video? This Edomite, he had all these feces and he was making water out of shit. Remember that? Remember that? And it was coming out in little drops and he was drinking it out of a cup. I was like, oh man,
That
that's
was
too
Man
much.
Against Wild or something?
Yeah, some crazy stuff.
Oh, Bear Grylls?
It was a big, it was like a big outdoor area, this gigantic distillery, a rack of trash, and then you just see water, clean water dripping out, so-called clean water dripping out. But she probably, look, everything that's on TV, man, is edited. That's why it's called programming. It was probably a bottle behind the set, and they said shoot, and you know, you poured the water in there, man. I know, you know.
Witchcraft.
Thinking, yeah.
It's all witchcraft.
And that's all coming to a screeching halt, man. Esau's lies and trickery is stopping. Let me get these precepts. 5 and 7. Get that one first.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 7.
Yeah, we're about to read the scripture that speaks about why birds are dropping out of the air. All right, why the whales are washing up on shores. All right, well, why a lion is not attacking a nigger woman that's standing right in front of her.
Yeah.
You see, it's like, why isn't this lion doing this? It's because this is the end, man. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 7. And the Sodomite she shall cast out fish.
Start at 6.
2nd Ezra 5 and 6. And Eden he shall rule whom they look not, for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowl shall take their flight away together.
Go ahead.
And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night.
Right, because when you see in these movies when it's a bunch of birds or herds of animals running together, you always know what they're running away from danger, meaning something bad's happening. All right, so that means everything what's about to be read now is a sign of bad times. So that's what evil means, bad times.
That's right.
All right.
Real fast, if I can make a point, because animals have that natural instinct to when they understand like demons is around. That's why when Howard shot through those spirits on the pigs, what they do, they ran off the cliff and killed themselves because they didn't want to live like that. They was like, this is an evil spirit. You know?
Man, spirit just hit me. You know how I know these people, the climate change is not working. I was saying this to myself too, is that it's not rooted in faith. If they believed on the scriptures, they wouldn't be doing this because in the scripture is in there where Yahweh Shai cursed the tree and it withered. All right, but guess what? He has power to bring it back to life. So if spiritual power, if we're gonna have the ability and spiritual power to renew things, there's no need to be fighting, man. What you need to be fighting is on the first ticket out of here to do that, man.
That's right.
You know. Now let's read that. Keep going.
2nd Ezra 5 and 7. And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places.
Right, and I love using that phrase, man, because that's what's gonna happen. There's already a lot of confusion in this place. All right, but it's not on the economic level that we're looking for, you know. And one of the part of the confusion that we're praying, man, is on December 10th. We're gonna see what Esau does. If he does it in waves, if he does it all at once. Either way, once he starts snipping these peoples whose livelihood depend on YouTube donations that receive sponsors and are showing you stuff, that's where we're gonna see a little bit of the uproars. We're gonna start seeing a little bit of stuff. But we'll see how Esau does it, all right? Now that's part of the confusion, all right? Another part of the confusion is the bread and circuses, man. The bread and circuses is going on. They put these sporting events different concerts and lectures, if you will, to confuse the shit out of you. Go ahead.
The brother said, spoke about bread and circuses. You understand that in the 100 years of this gladiatorial football shit, this past Thanksgiving with the Cowboys playing was the most watched game in the NFL, the most watched Thanksgiving game in the NFL ever. So as all hell, the nation is going down, and the gladiatorial games are picking up more fans. The women are into it, the men into it, the children, everybody. Wow, it's called escapism. They can see that America's going down, but they don't want to face the music. So they're trying to.
The biggest jobs were cooks and entertainment.
Yeah, and gladiators, absolutely. So those are the signs of the times that when America is coming down. So that's why everybody wants to escape. But the men of the Lord, we all in it. We're not trying to, we understand what's going on. The only way for us to escape is to actually have full knowledge of what's going on, not the opposite.
Right.
Ignorance ain't bliss, huh?
This place is through, man. All right. The milk's gone bad in this place, man. This place has a sour taste, you know. It's spoiled, you know. Go ahead,
Bitter,
man.
rotten.
Yeah,
Rotten.
you don't want no
Everything's bad. Everything that you think of that's bad, that's America, man.
That's right.
You know, and the lifestyle of America.
Right. Go ahead.
Isaiah 14 and 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
Yeah, this is decay, man. This is a sinking ship. That's what worms do, man. They eat up what's left over. That's what's going on to America, man. You Edomites and so-called white people, you running scared, man. Yeah. All eyes are, the scripture, that's prophecy. It says, all that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. Yeah. That's fully going to happen in the kingdom, but that's going on right now. The gearing up of that, Esau's getting a foreshadowing of that, man. He's getting a little taste on this side, and that's beautiful because Yahweh Shemel Rashad is pleased when a man gets to see the downfall of his enemies.
That's right.
So that's why the Lord, all the blessings that he gave us, he's starting to give us a little bit of those, and all the, and the curses that he gave us, he's starting to put it on our enemies. Right. He's starting to lift them off little by little, not wholly, but little by little.
That's right.
You know? And it's beautiful. Go ahead, we get back.
Yeah, Sirach 25 and 7, it says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies.
Right, and that's the thing. I want to live to see the downfall of this, man. Because it's exciting. What's going on right now is already exciting. It's like, dang, I know it's going to get better. You know, it can only get, the movie is only getting better.
Right.
Look, the suspense is, that suspense is building up. You're waiting for that next scene, You know, you watch, let's say you watch something on Netflix, and you're like, damn, can anything else happen? So you hit pause and see how much time is left. You're like, damn, it's for an hour? Yeah. Music change.
Want to go to the next show?
Yeah, God.
This 1 Corinthians 14 and 7, and even things without life giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds. How shall it be known what is pipe or harp? And we know from the sound of things, that alarm that we sound is that we at the end of this thing.
That's right. That's right.
But other people, they hear a sound of mirth and joy.
Well, that's the thing. Esau's playing all these different sounds at one time.
Yeah.
These people can't figure out what the hell's going on.
Right.
Even the animals.
Yeah, even the animals. Like we say, even the animals are confused as hell.
People see the earth as rock.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Go ahead, back in the Ezra.
This is 2nd Ezra 5 and 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be often sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Right, you see how I said the wild beasts are going to change their places.
That's right.
These animals that are out here, remember, Maryland is very close to the Appalachian Mountains. These animals are going to come out of those mountains, man. And guess what? Another thing will put this in your mind too. You're going to see animals you've never seen in your life before.
Yeah, that's right.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, the Leviathan. This man's gonna come up out of the Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla. That's God. Yeah, oh, that's the spirit. We're gonna get a sign with Godzilla on it. When you read Job, the 41st chapter, that's Godzilla. That is Godzilla, my friend.
Yeah.
Nobody, you can't tell us no different, man. Esau got that from, You talk about his scales, the fire that come out of his breath. The world gonna see that. They're gonna, you know what's crazy? It's gonna bring people in more subjection. Why? Because they be like, damn, Esau put that on the TV screen, he must be God. But through the spirit, we know that's in the scriptures. Just like when they see the chariots, the flying roll, all right, the wheel that's within the wheel. We gonna know that's the glory of the Heavenly Father and His Son. The world is gonna look at it in an astonishment. Yeah, and the scriptures say, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. They're gonna be dismayed, they're gonna be confused. You know?
The scripture says that during the Third World War, that what? The ocean shall be turned into blood. Now, you know you got a lot of submarines, because see, this Third World War is also going to take place with submarines, throwing, missiles and torpedoes.
The bow is steel.
The bow is steel, right. And what's going to happen?
There's missile silos on the submarines.
That's what you think Leviathan's going to do with them submarines. They're going to get busy. A lot of those submarines is going to be what? They're going into that water, they're not coming out. It's going to be blood. There's going to be a cough. That's like you said, that's where you get the move. Things like,
not a coffin.
That's when you get Godzilla. That's when you get pirates. The ancient pirates talk about the famous Kraken, right? Because remember the Leviathan, like your brother said. Now that's the name of the creature, but that could be a company of creatures as well. That could be a company of creatures as well, because you're gonna have other creatures. Like you got giant fucking squids in the ocean that can bring down. They haven't been seen in ages. They were seen during the ages of pirates and shit like that. Giant. That's why they came over with the Kraken. It's a giant octopus.
They got that video on YouTube. I'm sorry, they got that video on YouTube where it talks about off the coast of California, it was a great white shark that they had put one of those chips in. You see on that ground, they put a chip inside of them so they could track it. So as they were tracking it, they said that it disappeared, right?
Right.
And then it reappeared, but no. It got, all right, so it started going down real deep, really fast, right? And usually when you go down, it gets colder and colder.
Yeah.
But then when it got down there, it got warm again. The shark got warm again, the body temp. Why is that? Because something ate that shark.
Yeah.
A great white shark. I'm talking about this probably the size of about 4, maybe 6 or 7 of these cars.
That's where Esau gets that movie Pacific Rim. Because you have certain levels under the water, when of course you got the link to volcanoes, which they actually warm the bottom of the ocean, where it actually makes it so that certain creatures can live in those places. Right, so you're right about that. That's where they get movies like that.
They got a new movie coming out where Esau pretty much digs too far to the ocean floor. And you seen that? And they hit something in the ocean floor, all of a sudden these monsters and stuff start coming out.
Well, around Hawaii, those volcanoes, it produce that water. Like sometimes it touches that lava, it gets so hot that it permits like certain nutrients in the water, so certain plants and animals are able to survive without sunlight.
That's right.
It's because of that rich water.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 49. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, the other Leviathan.
Yeah, that represents the different creatures of the ocean. And Enoch represents the Adamites, those of understanding, of wisdom, because he put his spirit on the Adamites, because those are the living creatures. You know, remember the heathen are considered the dead.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Verse 50. And did it separate the one from the other, for the 7th part, namely, where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part where are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when.
Because Leviathan is the supreme creature in the ocean. You know, just like Enoch, the Adamites, which is really the Israelites as the supreme creatures on the land, on the earth.
Hey, bro,
You know?
I looked up Godzilla on dictionary.com. It was talking about the film, the Americanized version from the Isro Honda one. It says Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Yeah, King of Monsters. Right now. Con. That's right. See? Let me read it real quick. This is Job 41:1. I'm gonna jump down. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with the hook, or his tongue with the cord? Matter of fact, I'm gonna read a little down, then jump down. Or his tongue with the cord, which thou lettest down? Because how you catch a fish? You let down a hook. He said, the Most High is saying, look, can you catch this man? Can you catch this creature? No, you can't catch Leviathan. Right? That's why he's too enormous. He's too great. Right? He says, can thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Right? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Right, because that's a creature you can't catch. Right? Let me jump down to the point. Even though that part is good, let me jump down. It says, right, it's still talking about Leviathan. It says, I just had it, right? Now, I'll restart at verse 15. His scales are his pride. Why? Because he can't be penetrated. He can't be shot. Just like they show you in exactly. In the movie Godzilla, everything that they shot at him, nothing could do nothing to him. Right? All the weapons, they couldn't hit him. They couldn't hurt him. It says what? One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. Right? By his nestings a light doeth shineth, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils go smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron.
That's underwater and above water.
Because when you see Godzilla, what happens? He gets mad. That big fire comes out of his mouth. Smoke comes through his nose. They got that straight out of the Bible.
That's right.
Imagine a guy. Hey, that's the thing. I just thought is imagine a Godzilla with wings flying around, wreaking havoc.
Right, but when the Most High is going to let forth Leviathan, you're going to see the works of the Heavenly Father at its entirety, in its mass.
That's right.
When his Third World War go down, man.
That's right.
You know why? Because it's Esau with his blessing, right, that he received from Isaac, right, that what you had the sword, because that's the showing the power of the Lord as well. Remember the scripture says what? I create light, I create darkness. Most High is the one that delivers the sword. So when Esau is getting down, right, the so-called white man is at his peak of his glory, you're going to see the magnificence of the sword. Matter of fact, the scriptures tell you what? Isaiah 34, I created the smith in the coal, who blow up in the furnace. The Most High is the one that put the imagination in Esau to create the weapons that he has. And when people are like, wow, look at the gun, or wow, look at that missile. Really, that's the magnificence of the Lord.
That's the glory of the Lord.
That's the glory of the Lord. Now you got to be balanced. You got to show the balance of the matter, because you got the evil, but then you got the good. And what is the good? The good is Jacob, and the majesty of the Heavenly Father through Jacob. And then you're going to see men flying.
That's right.
You're going to see men shooting fire out their palms.
That's right.
On this side, and in these lands. Somebody get that real quick. I will give you fame in the land that you put to shame.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Hey, for the brother, this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and 25. The Lord has opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
The Most High is bring forth the weapon of his armory. Why? Because the Most High is a man of war.
That's right.
So when this war goes down, you're going to see all the imaginations of men, all right, being set forth on the day of the Lord. All right?
But this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, Hashem El Hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans.
Yep, and America's the modern day land of the Chaldeans. Like the elder brother mentioned earlier, that the Chaldeans was known for what? Witchcraft. All these people on drugs, man.
That's right.
Every single all these people on drugs, man.
Over the counter and not over the counter.
Especially
everybody, everybody on drugs,
The
yo.
reason why I said especially.
I'm telling you.
Now, the brother's true. The reason why I said because the brother's true because a lot of the stuff that's going on, the men were supposed to rise up.
Right.
You got a situation where the men are passive as hell, but you have the women that are bold.
Yeah.
Because the women actually have more testosterone. They have chemicals that make them act and respond the way men will respond. That's why you see the women bold and speaking and fighting and all that, but the men are passive, are quiet, because they're being filled with estrogen, which those are chemicals, right?
Yeah, it's a contradictory reaction, if you will. You know, Esau is the mad scientist. He's drummed up certain devices, or the scriptures tell you that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Right? Meaning what? We know that Esau, he's in a lab and think tanks in certain rooms, jotting shit down on pencil and pen. You know, the scriptures tell you he can't sleep. The scriptures tell you that in Proverbs. He said the wicked, in the middle of the night, he says, imagine wickedness, man. Thinking of shit that, some shit they can come up with. You know? That's why it's all kind of drugs that these people are on. And I mentioned drugs, I'm talking about crack. I'm talking about dope. That Keisha, that K2, all these niggas is on drugs. That niggas come by, niggas is on drugs, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm not talking about 35, 40 year old. I'm talking about young niggas, 18, 19. Matter of fact, there's a sign up, it's not showing right now. You see how they scroll by and shit. They said they having youth awareness for opioid addiction, man. Why they attacking the youth for opioid addiction? Why? Because you got the youth into the opioid addiction.
Right.
Which when America went into war in Afghanistan, the first mission, all right, the first objective, if you will, was to what? Control the poppy fields. And I met a cat in the Marines while I was in the joint, if you will, while I was in there. He said, I'm a witness. He was like, I'm a witness. He said, I was one of the first Marines on boots on the ground, and the first thing we did was occupy the poppy fields.
Yeah. Taking from the town.
And then that was what, 18 years ago, 2001, 2002, right? And you fast forward now we're seeing the reproduction of what? The mind of the Chaldeans.
That's right. 90% of the drugs, 90% of the drugs come from Afghanistan. From what, like the brother said, the poppy field. All right, that's where you get, and the origins is what? It's opium.
Right.
Which opium is known to be what? It's a drug that goes straight to your pineal gland.
Right, and which also fulfills prophecy, because the scripture says what? Let the weak say I'm strong. Beat your plowshares into spears.
That's right.
Now that plowshare did what? It was a benefit for agricultural purposes. Now that Esau has gone into those places and reaped and took away those agriculture, they like, well, look, we invested to the wrong thing. They only did to come over with the gun and take our agriculture. Now what are those different places doing? Now they invested into weapons. That's why Iran and these different places are major threats, because they realized that they invested into the wrong things. And America got rich off those agriculture resources, man.
Right.
The gold.
You know?
You
said what?
Remember we did the debates. Remember the guy was talking about the gold when they went over there to Afghanistan?
Oh yeah. We was on Fort Meade. That's right. Yeah, that movie Three Kings. That's real. You know, people went over there. They occupied different things. They were getting gold. They was getting different metals and stones, and they were like, hey, we can come back with this. Hell no. Matter of fact,
he said, Jake said that they had truckloads of gold. Just bringing it back.
Yeah, the dude that told me, man, I don't fuck that nigga, man. But anyway, I'm telling you, I'm not, whatever, man. He told me, he said he tried to come back with some of the opioids and shit. He put it in the muffler of a Humvee, and he said he got hemmed up, and then he got locked up, and he was telling me that the military, when you get locked up with the military, you gotta break stones and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother hardcore labor and shit that you had to go through. But it's showing you just because you go over there, because the soldier's supposed to bring back spoils.
That's right.
So you go over there, you're supposed to come back on what you occupy.
That's right.
Who's getting that resources? Esau, the elites. Why? To forward their plans.
But what happens to the soldier? He ends up in poverty, and the Lord tells you in
Exactly.
Sirach that what? One of the things that he hates the most is a warrior that what? That suffers poverty, man. So
That's
who
right.
is the devil according to the Bible?
That's right, man. Yeah. Who got the fame? Who got the yup?
This is Zephaniah 3:19. Behold, at that time, I will undo all that afflict thee.
Yeah,
and
because we being afflicted right now, man, on all levels, shapes, and formats, man. All right? Bills, your woman, everything, man. Your car might break down, whatever the case is, we being afflicted. You know, we're being spiritually afflicted as well, man. You know, when the brothers are talking about certain things on a job, you know, you got certain individuals whose spirit is set out, it's against you. And everything's you just trying to make ends meet, right? But at the same time, when you go into to work, you catching all forms of hell. Because it's spiritual, man. You know?
It says, and I will save her that halted and gather her that was driven out.
Yeah, it's talking about Israel, man. Go ahead.
And I'll get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame.
That's right, and that's what the Lord is preparing, man. All right, the Lord is preparing a wedding. Okay, the Lord is preparing a glory, a bride adorned in white. All right, to show forth the world that these are my chosen. You know.
I got a quick one. This is Daniel 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
That's right.
And think to change times and laws, and they shall be given unto his hand until the time of times and the dividing of time.
Right, and the thing is, he said he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and that's what's happening, man. The saints are being worn out, man. But it's soon to be all done. You know, this is only for a season, man. You know, everything is done in seasons, so you can understand. This is the season that we're going to be afflicted, but then guess what? There's going to be a season to where we're going to rejoice. Scripture tell you, all tears shall move away from their eyes. You look at every scenario in the scriptures. Which man ever trusted in the Heavenly Father and didn't rejoice at the end? No, you can't find a man that trusted in the Heavenly Father and wasn't exalted at the end. One way, shape, or another. You can't find that, man. Not one of them, man.
This is Job chapter 5 and 18. For he maketh sore and bindeth up.
Right?
He woundeth and his hands make whole.
And all of these things happen in seasons, like the brother said. Go ahead.
Verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
Right? The sixth trouble, the sixth season. That's the season that we're in, the season of affliction, which is simultaneously also the season of what? Of judgment. That's what the number 6 is. The number 6 goes back to sex, meaning to cut. And dividing is how you judge. It's by cutting. You know, like that's why the apostles in the scripture said what? The time, what's it, the sunder? Right.
Cut.
The cut, right. Meaning to cut.
Discernment.
Right, which is the discernment, which is judgment. But for us, it's affliction. Why? Because the elect, we have to go through what we got to go through. Just like what Yahweh Shah went through.
Yeah, because cutting is not. It's the opposite of tickle. You know, cutting hurts.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
That's right.
It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
That's right. And that goes with what the brother said as far as seasons. That's why Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, you know, when it speaks about the season to every purpose, that's one of the most powerful scriptures. Why? Because the Lord tells you that that's how he moves. Why? Because if you move out of season, just like our people trying to have families and trying to build this and build that in the time of war, then that means they're moving out of season, meaning they're not moving according to what? The spirit of Yahweh Shalom Shah.
That's right. The scripture say the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. And the triumphant of the wicked is cut short. It's short, man. You know, because everybody, Esau has the minds of the people thinking that he's going to rule forever. You know, but there's a elect few that understand that this white man, the so-called white man, the devil, in which the Bible speaks of, is going to go down. This society, the way we live, this conduct, this orderly arrangement, this world that we live in is going to diminish. It's going to be wiped away with fire, man. You know? But you got a lot of people that, you know, that believe, majority of our people believe that this world is going to just continue. That's why they get down with the trends. That's why they do the things that's, you know, popular. That's why they do the things that try to fit in. Come on.
Yeah, Sirach 10 and 4.
Come on, buddy. You can do it.
This is Sirach 10 and 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that one that is profitable is Yahweh Shah. And in due time.
And then on to the elect. Yep. And then on to the elect is Yahweh, Yahweh the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son, and then what? His elect, because it's a marriage. See that? Because why? The concept, remember, man was created, then the woman was created to be that helpmate. You know, and when a man and woman got together, they shall be what? One flesh. So Yahweh Shai and the elect, that's why he said what? That ye shall be joint heirs. Everything that the husband would get in a marriage, the woman would get as well.
That's right.
You see? So when Yahweh Shai being the husband in this marriage, us being the elect, Lord's will, we're going to get everything that Yahweh Shai inherited as well. Because we're married unto Yahweh Shai. We're one flesh with Yahweh Shai. That's why we're the body of Yahweh Shai.
That's right. It's Isaiah 61, verse 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed.
Yeah, it's gonna be anytime Jake shows, it's gonna be a parade, man.
Well, yeah, it's a procession. It's a marriage. Because when the marriage, what happens? The woman, she's adorned in white, she has the veil, and all eyes are on that woman.
Right.
And the man, he's there, you know, matter of fact, when you look it up, the ancient custom of a marriage, of our custom, and being Hebrew Israelites, right? The woman would actually walk a good distance, or she would be basically chauffeur, she'd be carried in a carriage. And then the man would be in a house, and then they would knock on the door. And then the man will come out, and then the man will be greeted unto the woman. But everybody would see that woman first, and then the man will come out, and then they will walk together, and the whole city would see it. It's the same thing.
Didn't the Lord say knock?
Yeah, the whole thing. Lo, I stand at the door and knock. Anyone hear my voice, I will come in and sup with them. And that's what happens. It's a knocking at the door. It's the awakening. The awakening is happening right now. The wife is already being adorned in white. How? By the word of the Lord. All right, the elect, the 144,000. What did it say? That they be in white robes.
Right.
These are those that not have been defiled by women.
Right.
Verse 10. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation.
Yep.
He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels.
Yeah, because of a woman, what did you say? Women be what? In modest apparel.
Right.
But the day of her wedding, she's decked out. Not that day. She's decked. She got all kind of gold. Because remember, there's a dowry involved, man. This woman got to look. Remember, she was soaking in oils. Yeah, she's paid for it. And remember, when you look, a woman, when she got married, right, that was the honor of what? Her father.
Right.
So the father will make sure this woman is on point. You know, the father will have to make sure, like, look, she got to be well adorned for her bride, for her bridesmaid, for the bridegroom. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's the Yahweh Shai.
That's
and
right.
Heavenly Father set that marriage
Right.
between Yahweh Shai and his wife, spiritually, which is who? It's us, Israel, the elect.
The elect, yep.
So he's overseeing that whole marriage.
Yep.
Verse 11. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so the Lord power will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations.
You ever see somebody sow a dandelion before springtime? No. It automatically happens. Why? Because that's the course of nature.
Right.
Same concept as the men of the Lord, the elect, getting this knowledge and being delivered into the chariots and Yahweh Shai meeting them in the clouds. It's going to be the same concept. It's going to happen. It has to happen.
You know, the Lord talks, real quick, the Lord talked about in the Apocrypha, he would give us the latter rain. Right now, the Lord's giving us that latter rain because it's the season for things, the truth to start
Increase.
springing.
It's a mass increase.
That's right. That's right.
Why? Because the rain is what? That's what springs forth the budding.
That's the doctrine.
Oh, what's it? It's called synthesis, photosynthesis. The whole photosynthesis of the deliverance of the elect is occurring right now.
That's right. That's right.
We're entering that season of the harvest.
That's right.
What has to happen first? The blossom has to happen before the harvest.
right.
For when the reaper will come in and get the crops.
That's right. That's right.
You know, the consummation happens in the bed.
Can't hear you, brother.
The consummation happens in the bed, in the wedding chamber, you know, in the bedroom, and it's gonna be consummated once we into those chariots.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, it's a penetration.
Right. And that really is the like you said, brother, and that is really the physical consummation, because you also got the mental. You know, you got the mental, and then you got the spiritual, mental, and then physical. Meaning, before you become one with the man in that bedroom, the woman has to be one with the man spiritually and mentally.
Oh, yeah.
That's why now, before the Lord, spiritually, right, consummates with us, physically, meaning physically brings us into the chariots, spiritually, he has to bring us to him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening. So right now, the marriage is already happening, but it's happening spiritually and mentally, and then it's going to be manifested, what, physically? Because the scripture speaks
Don't
about
know where the subway
the
at.
scripture speaks about how
Right there,
the Lord
right there
set
to your
things
right,
up.
right there. To your
The Lord set the natural and the
Oh, the
spiritual.
subway.
So everything that happens has to happen with the spiritual, and then it has to be what? Manifested physically. All right, so go ahead.
This is James 5 and 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain.
Oh, also, you got to understand also the process, right? When you have crops, you have what you call the summers, when you have the dry season. That's what happened to the nation of Israel. Like, there was a time where what? When the land was dry. When the scripture speaks about the land being dry, who is that talking about? It's talking about the nation of Israel. But in particular, when it says the dry land, what does the land represent? Another word for land is ground. And spiritually, the scripture refers to ground as the mind. Meaning there was a time and season when what? The mind of the Israelite man was dry.
Yeah.
It didn't have the rain or the water, which Deuteronomy 32 tells you that what? I will rain doctrine. Right? I will rain doctrine upon you. So what? We didn't have the doctrine at a certain point in time. But then the Heavenly Father, of course, without, the Yahushua, the Holy Spirit, our parents, all the apostles, now the Lord has been raining his doctrine upon us. And now, like the brother said, now we just wait for the harvest.
So that's why the scriptures call this place a dry and thirsty land.
That's right. It's the
thirsty.
minds of the people. Because that's what the Lord said, I have what? I have an indignation against the inhabitants of the land. America's got to get it because of the people that took over America. All right? So the Lord's indignation is not, the Lord is not just mad at, the platform, the land of America, the way it was built, how large it is. That's what he got beef with. No, he got a beef with the inhabitants
thereof.
And because the blood has been spilled, the land's got to be cleansed.
Well, the higher ups, not even the elites of the world, but the higher ups of every state understand that. Because when you mention, say for instance, you say state of Maryland, that represents a conglomerate of men that write legislation.
Right.
That doesn't mean the actual land.
Right.
They know that. They know that. You know. So something else you said. Oh, and also too, well, who's gonna be who's gonna get jacked up in that thermonuclear destruction? Them that what? That basically marry the beast.
That's right.
You know, that accept him in his image.
That's right.
You know, and then what? Essentially what? Receive his mark.
That's right.
Which is what? And that's the inception. Or the conception.
Conception, like the brother said, because conception, going back to conceiving, which means what? To give birth. Now, if you're talking about conception is what? Really, conception is giving mental birth. How do you give mental birth? Is by having an idea.
Yes.
Right? That's the only way to give mental birth.
Yeah.
It's by bringing up an idea, and another word for idea is image.
Right. Right, that's right. That's why the Heavenly Father, what does it say in John 15:1? It says what? The Most High is the husband. You know, so all ideas really come from the Heavenly Father.
Right.
You know?
This is Sirach 24 and 27. He maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the tongue.
It said the doctrine of life appear as light. And what these people, they're in gross darkness. And what do you need for crops to grow? You need sunlight. You need light. You need that bright morning star.
Right.
You know? Who's the bright morning star? Yahweh Shai, man.
Right.
All right? And we have that bright morning star, man. And we had the latter rain.
That's right.
This is Sirach 24 and 27.
Yo, you mean the same thing? That's the same. Okay, come.
Oh, yeah, come.
You just started over.
This is Sirach 24 and 27. He maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the time of vintage. The first man knew her not perfectly. No more shall the last find her out. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep.
Yeah, start at 24.
No. This is Sirach 24:24. It says, faint not to be strong in the Lord, that he may continue. Cleave unto him, for the Lord Almighty is power alone.
Right, and when you see plants, when you see them sprout and spring forth, what does it look like they're doing? It looks like they're trying to cleave to the sun. You see the leaves are super erect, trying to reach as high as they can to the sun.
Yep.
You know, and then when it's dark, what happens? They droop over. You know what? That sun, the morning star, Yahushua, is essential. Go ahead.
It says, faint not to be strong in the Lord, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him.
Yeah, just give you faith. That's what confirmation is.
Yeah, that's the spirit is brothers all in one accord, man, because that's why Yahweh Shah, when he told the disciples about having little faith, he said, do not the buds. You know, somebody get that, it's Matthew 6, toward the end. You know, he said, but he said, look, oh ye of little faith, he said, do not, the birds toil not, yet they grow. Yeah. No, they get.
Yeah, the scripture just says he's gonna confirm us.
Right, because it all revolves around faith. Faith is what helps everything sprout.
That's right.
You know?
Right.
Man, faith is powerful, man. All you gotta do is just believe something, man, and it'll manifest. You can actually manifest things into your life, man. Our people don't believe it yet. Then you got our people that know the truth. They're just so hell-bent on being negative and start thinking about the curses. They lose sight of their faith, but they can actually manifest things with their faith.
This is St. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, nor yet for your bodies what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap.
Right, and they're not even taught how to swing down and catch whatever animal that they want to eat. You know, they naturally just know it. Why? Because they were ordained to do that. Go ahead.
It says, nor gather into barns,
right?
Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them.
Right.
Are ye not much more than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? And why take ye thought for raiment?
Right, keep going.
Consider the lilies of the field.
Right.
How they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin.
Yeah, they don't toil, they don't spin. Go ahead.
And yet I say...
Meaning what? Because what happens? When you till the ground, that's what you have to do. You have to toil and spin.
Right.
So they're not planting themselves. Right, go ahead.
Oh, wait. You know the lily is known as what?
The Most High's favorite flower.
Right, which is also known as the perfect flower. That's the actual name for the lily, you know, besides for the Most High. It's actually called a perfect flower.
Right.
And we already know the Lord is comparing the lilies to the elect. And what's the elect? The elect the perfect what? Right?
Yeah. That's right. Go ahead.
It says, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these.
Yeah, talking about the disciples, man. Talking about the elect at that time. Now I was born this time, man. You know, we really are living in a time of glory. The glory of the Heavenly Father, man. Because remember back then, even when Paul was writing his letters, they thought the Lord was going to be back soon. Even sooner than that. Remember when they saw the Lord taken up in the chariots in Acts, the first chapter, you know, what was going on? They said, look, is it now time to deliver us from the Romans? So they thought that was the time frame. And look how much faith they was increased with. You know?
Yeah.
So big things is happening in this time for the elect, man.
Yeah.
You know?
You finishing that up?
Yeah, pretty much. Go ahead,
Sirach 24:24. Faint not to be strong in the Lord, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him, for the Lord Almighty is the Most High alone.
Meaning what? He's going to give you strength.
That's right.
Confirmation means strength.
Yeah, with strength.
Yep. Go ahead.
For the Lord Almighty is the Most High alone, and besides him there's no other Savior. He filleth all things with his wisdom. As bison and as tigers in the time of the new fruits.
Right, which we just looked it up. Tyson was the Red Sea. Go ahead.
And as tigers in the time of the new fruits, he maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates.
Right, because if you know these waters, you can go along certain creeks in the wintertime, and you'll see shrubs, and certain of the shrubs are winter plants, and they're super, super dark green, because they're right by that water source. Exactly. You know, as long as they're by that water source, they'll be good. Even up in some of the mountains and stuff like this, like where I go source some of my water up here in northern Maryland, in the wintertime, it's green. It looks like the springtime up there. You know, because of certain shrubs, they're right there fixated right on the side of the mountain where the water comes out, right? Keep going.
Sirach 24 and 26. He maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in the time of the harvest.
See that? It said he makes understanding to abound like the Euphrates. The Euphrates is still there, right? That means what? The understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has always been here, and in fact, it's increasing. All right? Oh, but the spirit, you know, the spiritual thing is it's increasing, but it's decreasing on the opposite side because these people aren't getting it, right? And isn't the Euphrates? There was a problem with the Euphrates where it was drying up. See, the Euphrates was starting to dry up, but the understanding's not drying up. It's just you people that are dry as hell. The Lord's not giving you the breath of life so that you can have that moisture, that water, that living waters on you. Go ahead.
He maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the time of vintage. The first man knew her not perfectly, no more shall the last find her out. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a
talking about a creek. Go ahead.
And as a conduit into a garden.
Right. So now the Lord is telling you all these waters that He has is these great understanding is everything. He said He's starting to disperse it. So first it started off as a little creek. All right. Then He said He's going to turn into a river, and that water is not just going to go anywhere. It's going to go to His garden. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 31, I said, I will water my best garden.
The best garden of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is the elect of Israel, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you Israelite foreigners, all right, you are the best garden, man. There's an elect of us through the Spirit. We keep enduring. Go ahead.
And will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea.
Right, because you got, oh man, that's spiritual, man, that's super spiritual. Because there's certain plants where they thrive in moisture. You know, like cattails. They be right down there by the river. You know a plant, a super spiritual plant that's biblical that thrives right next to the water? Calamus. Calamus, the plant calamus. You plant some calamus by water, it'll never die, ever. You have to set that thing on fire to kill it. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's one of the ingredients into the anointing.
Yep, the calamus. Now, the Lord said He will water His best garden, man. And we're like calamus. We're continuously getting water. You can never overwater us. You know, some plants you can overwater, but certain plants you can't. You know, hey, like the basil. You know the basil. You can put basil in a leaf of basil inside of a cup and come back. And come back next week, and the whole thing got roots and new leaves. Just sitting in water. That's how the faith is, man. That's how the wisdom knowledge Yahweh Shai is when a sincere man, all right, within his garden latches onto it. Go ahead.
Verse 32. I'll read 31 again. I said, I will water my best garden, and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and will send forth her light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever.
You see, the Lord said He will pour out this teaching, this doctrine as prophecy. That's why we say it's all about the prophecies, man. If you're not talking about prophecies, you're a hindrance. All right? You're not talking about anything. That's what the doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is. It says the doctrine of prophecy. Keep going. You finish the chapter.
The last verse, behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom.
Right, and that's the point, man. Because when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter, it tells you that men were delivered and saved through wisdom. And then again in Timothy, Paul said to us, okay, that if we continue in the things that we've learned, we can not only save ourselves, but those that hear us. So that's the point, man. We want these waters to deliver us. You got something now?
Yeah, come on. This is Isaiah 27 and 6. It says, he shall cause them that come of Jacob to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit.
And that's what's going on. We're filling the face of the world with fruit. So it's Israelites everywhere. All right? He says he's going to fill the face of the world with fruit. So that means there's Israelites in Japan. And they don't look like me. But they got the truth. You know? I can't wait. Wait till, they got strict rules over there. One way or another, we're going to find out there's a camp full of Israelites that look like Moabites and Ammonites.
Oh,
man.
yeah, definitely.
One way or another, we're going to see it. The Lord's He's going to have to show us that. Whether a brother in Europe finds out first and tells us or something, we already got the Ak out there in Kenya, you know. You got brothers out there in the west coast of Africa too.
South Africa.
Brothers in South Africa. Brothers popping up everywhere, man. Brothers in Bolivia, surviving the Jacob's trouble down there. You got the brother in Puerto Rico. The whole island got whacked, man. But what did the Lord do? He still sprung up fruit. That's why you can see a rose growing out of concrete, man. Through the Spirit. That's the Lord, and on a just to switch, not to switch it up, but that's the Lord searching Jerusalem with candles, man. Because those same sprouts are also wicks, man. We are all likened unto wicks, unto candles through the Spirit.
This is Second Ezra
If I can say this real fast,
Go ahead,
there were reports saying that like people are making CDs as far as like the apostles, elders teaching, and they put it on CDs and give it to people.
Oh God!
I don't know. I think you that told me that, or you.
It might be possible.
Now, there's reports out there.
Because I know Menashe used to do that.
You used to do it too.
Yeah. With the I got one in the whip. Man, okay. I thought you meant like a DVD. Yeah, I got the audio. You know, you take the you can convert the apostles' videos into MP3, and then burn it onto a CD. I got an old breakdown of Habakkuk 1 and 5. That's what the CD's called, Habakkuk 1 and 5. You know, through the Spirit. Hey, that's the move right now. What YouTube's doing, gotta go back and get you a DVR, CDR. A writable job.
This is Second Ezra 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome.
Woo! Read that again, brother.
This is Second Ezra 6 and 27.
Right.
For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
Yeah, it says evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. All right, by the Spirit of Yahweh, by Shemel Rashad, through the mouth of his men. All right, go ahead.
As for faith, it shall flourish.
Yep, read that again.
Second Ezra 6.
No, just that line.
It says, as for faith, it shall flourish.
And that's what's going on. Rob Amawana. Much faith. A lot of faith going down.
Yep.
Hold on.
As for faith, it shall flourish.
Yep.
Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him. Before him I stood.
That's good. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's gonna be confusion. Although it's gonna be confusion in many places, we're gonna be okay because we know what the deal is. Confusion is not gonna come inside this realm. Yahweh Shai is not gonna leave us here to be confused, figuring out what the hell is gonna go on. All right, he left us with exactly in grave detail, by the way, grave spiritual detail of what's gonna fall out. All right, so I pray that we endure. You know, to the elect out there, keep fighting for your faith, keep praying for your faith to get increased. You know, through the Spirit. And double honors to our elders and apostles, known as Great Millstone in these times. And before we end, we're going to give all praises unto our powers.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
And the reason why we give praises to them because we believe that they are, man. That Yahweh, that is his name. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. We're going to declare it to the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
By the ball.
By the
By the
ball.
ball.
Come, Yahshua.
Come, Yahshua.
Come, Yahshua.
Oh, yes.
You say that?